Welcome to Sideshow's Drink and Draw with J. Scott Campbell.
Hey!
Hey!
Welcome, true believers.
Stan!
Welcome, true believers. Hey, I'm Kirk R. Thatcher, and this is J. Scott Campbell, who you came here to see. We are drawing, well, he's drawing, I'm drinking. So this is going to go off the wall.
Maybe by the end we'll switch places.
There you go, yeah. That'll be fun, and not what they paid for. Hey, hi, everyone on the chat.
Should we start off with these?
Yeah, we're going to start off with our
provided shots here.
This is bourbon, in case someone asked, well, drink and draw, what are we drinking? We're starting off with bourbon.
Let's see how this goes.
So as they say,
What do they say?
They say in Scotland, slencha.
Slencha.
Cheers, lad.
I'm sure I murdered that. That'll wake you up. I'll put you to sleep.
do a shimp. That's good, actually. It's very good bourbon. Hey, everybody. Hello. Hello, hello. Everyone's saying hi. How's it
How's
do?
the chat looking? It looks busy from this.
There's a lot of, hey, Kurt, cheers from your friends in Quincy, Hannibal. Oh, hey, gang. Good Lord. It is Kirk Thatcher from Star Trek 4. I had a different...
the famous.
Yeah, I don't know. They were like, why is he doing this?
Sam's Boombox.
Well, Scott and I have been friends for the number... We were just talking about that before we opened.
Closing in on a decade. Not quite.
Closing in a decade from San Diego Comic Con.
The comic, the strange bedfellows you carry back from Comic Con.
Well, we're not bedfellows. We sat on a couch.
It's a metaphor, Kirk. Come on.
Okay, start drawing.
I've actually already been warming up here. I got a little far in my warm-up, but I'm drawing the...
it's cooked.
Yes. I'm drawing the Red Riding Hood statue, which is just to my right over here. It's one of the many statues we've done here at Sideshow with the Fairy Tale Fantasies characters.
Plug. That was a plug.
That's what we call a plug.
That was a plug.
A little subtle, right?
Yeah.
Too subtle? More subtle?
Wait, okay, so some of the questions. Who are some of the artists that have influenced your style, J. Scott?
Some of the artists, oh gosh, as I get older in my years, there's more and more that are piled up. But I would say my biggest initial influence was an artist named Art Adams, a friend of both of ours, actually.
Yeah. Big Art.
Yes, so Art Adams is a comic book artist from the 80s. The second I saw Art Adams comic books, I think it was X-Men, sometimes I forget if it was X-Men 10 or 12, but I'm pretty sure it was 10. I just was totally in love with that art style.
Were you drawing comics at that time?
No, in fact, actually, I thought I was going to be a Disney animator.
Oh, Disney animator. Yeah.
There's probably more money in it, honestly, from the plumbers I've seen. But yeah, I thought I was going to be an animator.
So had you done animation? You'd done pencil drawings?
I wouldn't say I'd done animation, but I had the Illusion of Life book, which was, we all know this book in the art community. It's a giant Bible for like how to draw the
ILM,
Disney
everyone had
the 9 old men, 2 of them made this book. And I thought for sure that was my course. In fact, I actually had won a contest for Nintendo. That's a whole other story. But they gave me prize money that was supposed to go to my college. I had actually spent it on a Laserdisc player and a Trinitron TV. That was the big TV at the time, the Sony Trinitron.
True media nerd.
Yes, and I did it so I could freeze frame cleanly animation on Laserdisc, so I could study frame by frame.
See if Jessica Rabbit really was wearing underwear.
You know what? I did check out that scene.
That's a deep cut.
That is a deep cut. When that scene broke out, or that news broke out, I did check that out, and it is true. But yeah, so when I saw Art Adams, I was like, wait a second, I think I want to go more this direction. And then there's a quote too that was from, and I can never find the interview, so now it's a little bit of a myth. I think I read this interview where the Batman '89 had come out, and Tim Burton, who was formerly a Disney animator, said, in this interview, as I remember, I've yet to find if it really happened, but he said the quote in this interview that, I knew I couldn't be a Disney animator for life when I was told you have to draw the butterfly enchanted sequence for 6 months. And I was like, I don't think I could do the enchanted butterfly sequence for, because you always think of yourself as like, oh, I'm going to go right in and I'm going to be animating Ariel or something. It's like, no, that's the guy who was there 20 years who finally gets to do So comic books seemed like a little more of a fast track of like, oh, you get in and you kind of get your style right off the bat, and it's either you sink or swim on your art style. And a lot of the guys I was seeing at the time were killing it with Image Comics and Marvel Comics. So,
what was your favorite comic growing up, or that like inspired you?
You know, it's funny. I annoyed the hell out of my local comic book shop because I didn't have a favorite title. I would go in there wanting my favorite artists. I would say, hey, do you have anything more from? And he goes, no, we don't have any more Art Adams right now. He only does annuals.
Now, were you Marvel or DC?
Well, when Art Adams did a DC comic, he did a really great.
So you were
he did a for World's Finest or Action Comics one where he was like Superman and Batman hunt vampires, and I was like,
oh, wow.
that was the first time. It's a great comic. Yeah, it's the first time I bought a DC book at the time. Although I always loved Batman. I mean, who doesn't love Batman? But yeah, mostly Marvel. But yeah, I'd annoy them because I'd always go in there and say, hey, do you have any Art Adams comics? And they were like, you're not supposed to buy comics that way. You're supposed to have a hold box, and you're supposed to have.
You're buying comics
you're
wrong.
Buying the Spider-Man title, or you're buying X-Men. You're not like just showing up asking for artists. But that was just how I rolled.
So you collected them more as a art aficionado, not as like I have all the Spider-Mans from number one.
In fact, actually, it's funny. I got into comic books having barely read any stories because I studied the visual storytelling of the comics. Like I almost couldn't really care less of what the lore was going on. I mean, I was getting Art Adams X-Men annuals, not following what happened in X-Men the rest of the run. I just wanted the annual. Now, eventually I did get into Mark Silvestri, and I kind of got into later Jim Lee and stuff like that because they were doing the interiors on X-Men. I got a little more into the stories. But even then, I saw them more as like, I kind of think of what George Lucas sometimes describes Star Wars as like a silent movie, kind of like in a way. Like,
that's good story. That's good filmmaking and good comic books. Like if there was no dialogue, you would still have a pretty good idea of what's going on.
So I kind of like to. In some ways, I mean, again, maybe I'm just admitting I was very illiterate, but I liked seeing the storytelling in the visuals. Like I liked seeing like how the emotions, everything conveyed.
The angles.
And oftentimes when I did take the time to stop and read them, I found if they were drawn well, I wasn't getting that much more out of it because if the artist is doing a good job, all that's coming through visually anyway. So and art was great at that.
Now, how much? Well, just to get a little technical stuff out. Sorry, let's just reading if there's any questions. Talking about Gen 13.
No, that was my first official comic book.
Right. Now, was your story and your characters?
No, I mean, yes and no. When I did Gen 13, that was my first comic book, and I was allowed to be. I think, looking back on it, Jim Lee, Marvel artist,
Shout
DC,
out to Jim Lee.
Works at DC now for many years. You know, at the time, I thought he was maybe perhaps doing me a favor by having me kind of chime in and like participate my ideas into Gen 13. Looking back on it now, he was starting a new studio. I think he was happy to take any of the help he could get. And then he goes, if this young kid has like some energy and wants to kind of jump in here and pull some.
How old were you? You said
I was 19 years old.
Oh my gosh, you were young.
Yeah, I can say the story now too. That was the early days of Photoshop, very early days. And they made me a fake ID so I could go to Vegas with them because Photoshop is so good. You can't do that nowadays, guys, but back then you could fool some people with a good Photoshop ID.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty good.
So, I remember I was.
He was laughing back there.
I was 19 when I started at Lucasfilm, and we were on location. I would go. I'd go to bars, and I took an aspirin, and I scratched out the age or whatever the year of my birth and changed it to like 3 years later or earlier. So you could go hang out with the crew.
Yeah, these are the tricks of debauchery back in the day, kids. Like, you can't do this now. But
so there's a good question that just came through. Oh man, it's down here. It's already Here we go.
This drink must be kicking in already.
When you find yourself doodling.
Yes, as one does.
Rather personal question. When you find yourself doodling, what do you end up doodling? What do you like drawing when you're just having fun, or do you have fun anymore?
Is my wife Tanya, who's also an artist, and we get into this all the time because she goes, "When do you draw for fun?
Is it fun anymore?
Like, it's fun, but I have so wired myself in and dialed myself in to like everything has to have a purpose and have to an end game.
I'm the same way.
And it served me very well for sort of like becoming a little bit more professional in my 30s.
Building your brand and career.
Yeah, because I kind of felt like kind of waffled and just kind of had fun and drew what I wanted to in my 20s. But then I kind of really was like, this is a business. Think business-like.
When you built a brand, yeah.
And in some ways, I did it too well because now I kind of am having trouble. Like, how do I draw for fun?
You drink for fun, lad.
Yes, cheers to that.
Cheers to drinking for fun. That's how we hang out. We never draw when we hang out.
Drawing? What the hell?
That's not about comics too. That question was by JJ Joe.
Hey, JJ, good question. But yeah, I should probably try to find more time to draw for fun. And I do give Tanya a lot of credit for that because she will check in with me occasionally and she'll go like, hey, like, I draw for fun. Why aren't you drawing for fun? Right now, there's this. She's obsessed with this K-pop Demon Hunters out there, which everybody seems to be very excited about. And I look at that and I go like, oh, that would be fun to do fan art for. But I'm so freaking busy. I can't have time for it. Now she's drawing amazing fan art for it and getting all these likes, and the internet loves it. And it's true. When the audience can tell when you're drawing just because you feel like it or for fun, and it doesn't have an end goal.
There's some love to it.
Yes.
Okay, Lori John Caravella asked, what are you guys drinking?
That is a good question. We had it described to us by Andrew.
Andrew, our amazing bartender, made a drink called White Linen, which I know has cucumber and Hendrick's gin, and I think, what is it?
It's kicking in already.
Elderflower.
He described it as bright and refreshing, and it really is kind of.
We wanted to start with that.
I'm a big fan of the Moscow Mule. It has Moscow Mule kind of like summer refreshing.
It's got Saint Germain elderflower in it. That's the other thing. And maybe something else. But I know cucumber, Saint Germain.
Oh, it's very good. I might have to look up the recipe for that one.
Hendrick's is a good Scottish gin, knowing that J. Scott Campbell is Scottish.
This is true.
Extraction, and I'm Pat Scottish.
Well, it gave you away.
I know. Yeah, I said without my hat, I look like the winner of the Billy Connolly Look-alike contest.
And sound like him as well.
Well, yeah, Billy. Yeah. I worked with Billy. That's my Scottish accent is based on his.
How long have you known Billy?
Since 1995 when we did Muppet Treasure
Now,
Island.
are you like on a texting basis, or is he texting? He probably doesn't text.
He
sounds like an
email
guy.
him.
Yeah.
He's ill, and so I kind of stopped last year when
that.
he came out, and he's sort of.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of amazing and lovely and very human that he does interviews and says, I'm dying. I've got this and that. He's got Parkinson's. And anyway, let's bring it down.
I know. I was going to say. I didn't want to say that.
Let's discuss death and art.
Well, hey, this is.
Here you go. Here's a question you may or may not be able to answer.
Okay.
What is your advice for someone who wants to get into drawing but is intimidated to start? Where should a beginner start? That was from Brendan Chan. Thank you, Brendan.
This is a good question with many, many answers. I mean, this because I've had this a little bit with my daughters who've also enjoy art and stuff like that, and I sort of see it. I have to try to kind of step back and see it more from their point of view because sometimes I have a narrow scope about how it worked out for me. Right. I always drew from back when I was very young, and I always had very encouraging parents who never. I've heard this. It's often the case that artists, young artists, don't always have the encouragement of their parents to pursue art. And I was not one of those children. I actually was very much encouraged the whole time. I never even considered that maybe I shouldn't pursue a career in art.
Right.
And not only that, too, I went into comic books thinking like, oh, I got this. Like I would also. It's funny when I.
The optimism of youth.
Yes, exactly. I find that I look back at the 19-year-old version of me that got hired, and I often go. Because I was fearless. I would just jump in and do this stuff. Now I'm like, I'll overthink everything to death because now I'm seeing it from the wisdom of like on the other side of things. But back then I would jump in and go like, yeah, I can draw a 22-page comic. Why not? I look back and I see all the mistakes that kid made.
You didn't have a mortgage, you didn't have children, you didn't have,
I see all the mistakes that I made at that age, but I also see the fearlessness. And that's the only way you get better anyway.
So I think, Brendan, the answer is you should start by drawing.
Well, in some ways it's true. Like you have to just do it.
You're never going to draw the best drawing when you start. Ray Bradbury has a big thing about writing. He goes, people would ask him, how do you be a good writer? You write every day.
Yes.
So just start drawing. Your drawings are going to suck at the beginning, but you're not selling them. You're not showing them a show. Just get comfortable making marks on paper and have good, I always say, have good influences.
Yeah.
For me it was, I'm older, so it was like Frank Frazetta, Neil Adams, Bernie Wrightson.
Yeah, all these names are great.
Some of those guys I got to become I got to know Bernie. And Bill Stout, who was an LA-based artist.
Oh my gosh!
But I loved Marvel. I was a huge Marvel fan. So I just, whatever inspires you. If you're inspired by comics, then I had an art teacher. I was taking art classes at Cal State Northridge when I was in high school, and he said, just trace drawings, trace whatever your favorite artists are. Just draw on top of them. Your hand gets. What's weird about drawing, you'll I think agree.
Yeah.
It's not your hand; it's your brain.
Oh yeah.
Your hand
People ask me all the time, "Does your hand hurt?" It never hurts. Now when I'm getting older, my back starts to hurt.
Right, because we're hunched over.
And sometimes like at the end of a convention, my voice hurts. My hand's used to the abuse. Like it just kind of. Well, that sounds very morbid.
I said nothing. I did not touch
that. Wrong. That came out very wrong. But I draw all day, so it's like to me, it's like that's not something that I'm going to like get like. But and actually, people often say like, "Oh, you hold your pen in a funny way," and it's funny.
You hold it like a lefty, because I'm a lefty.
Is that right?
Well, because lefties, when we're learning to write, we hook.
You know what's funny is I never really thought it was funny until people told me after I was a professional. And then it's funny, my sister holds it the same way, and my dad held it the same way too until he broke his hand and had to like learn to write the correct way, because
we call it the Campbell grip.
Yeah, it's
Campbell grip.
It's definitely a hereditary thing. In fact, actually, I keep meaning to ask my daughters how they because I actually haven't asked them how they hold their pen.
While we're talking about pens and all that, do you have? Nobody's asked this, but I'm curious. Is there a particular pencil or pen line that you love? That everyone always asks.
Yeah.
What do you like to draw with? What paper do you draw?
So like I used to be. I don't know if the camera can show this. I used to be a big. I used to be into Pigmas, which was like a big it's called
brand.
Yeah, I forget the parent brand, but the pen was called Pigma.
Okay.
And I switched to Faber-Castell.
Yep.
These ones are called Pitt pens, and I switched to these maybe about 10 years ago because somebody said, "Oh, they have real India ink in them," which is the crow quill type of ink that a lot of comic book artists used, and I was always told you can't use felt tip pens because they don't have India ink, but these ones do. So it's like, so I switched to these, and I've kind of like become like.
Is it a hard tip or a soft tip?
Do
they break down over a while? Because what's
they do. I will actually kind of go through. I'll buy these by like the case.
Right.
So I will go through one of these. This is a 0.3 because we're on camera right now. I want to make sure that it's like seen. But usually what I'll have is what is called an XS, which is I think like a 0.1.
Right.
To get the fine details. And then I'll do my bigger lines with the 0.3. And this is one of several pens. I'll also sometimes use let's see. Oh gosh, I've got other ones like here's a Blick Studio
for
version.
shading or doing.
Yeah, sometimes you have to fill in the big black stuff like that. They also make a brush pen in this brand as well. But I just I've been using these for like 10 years now. But yeah, I will go through like as soon as I start getting a line that is not like it's starting to sputter, as I call it, it's like there'll still be ink in it, but I'm not getting the flow. Like I am losing time if I have to go like this twice. That's causing me hours lost. So like if that happens, it goes in the trash and I grab another one. So I'll usually go through like anywhere
from. You don't give them to underprivileged children?
I do not.
You're a monster.
I probably should.
A monster.
That's the first time I've been told this. But yeah, so I'll go through like sometimes like anywhere from 2 to like 4 of these per cover because I'll just go through them that fast. So, but you can't be precious about them. You got to just go. You
do your own inking.
I do. I used to not. When I was working on Gen 13, I did.
Other people.
Alex Gardner was my most probably known inker. He was an amazing inker. Still is an amazing artist, but he's switched to digital painting now. And
have you tried that? Have you played around? Well, I know you know Photoshop, but
I have. In fact, actually, I colored a recent cover of a Rogue cover of mine recently. That it was just fun to just kind of like see where my skill set was at, kind of. But ultimately, it does slow me down, and I have so many talented colorists that I work with that allow me to produce more. I just tend to just kind of go that direction and kind of like go, okay, let me. At some point, I would like to do maybe a more personal project, one of those fun projects that that I should draw.
All those fun projects you have all the time for.
Yeah, exactly. But I find it does slow me down, but I do really do enjoy it. I love color theory, and I heavily art direct. Tanya will attest to this. I very heavily art direct my the covers because I have a vision for things, kind of. So I tend to get very heavy-handed with that. But no, it's I still pretty much just do the inking. But I think about, oh gosh, now we're going back probably like 15 years was when I switched from having my pencils digitally inked to just trying to ink myself. Because at some point I realized everybody says, "Oh, your pencils are so tight. Like you don't even need it inked." And then I would like, but I realized I told myself, well, the reason they're so tight is because I under pencil it and then I pencil it and pencil it. It's like I might as well just ink it, you know. So.
Do you do onion skinning or like tracing paper over it to get it clean, or
no? I do. I will do like for instance, if the camera will show, like I'll do something like what I'll sometimes do is I will do a drawing. A new drawing. So I will do sometimes like I hope this shows up on camera, but I'll like let's say like I will do my like thumbnails this big. Now a comic book.
Oh wow! For layout.
Yeah, a comic book is like you're talking about this big, but I will work out my ideas.
Will you lay out your whole comic page, or you mainly do covers now?
I mostly do covers, but even a comic page, I would probably start off this way because to me, what is was it JJ who had about the question about being intimidated about art or sort of
it was Brendan Chan.
Brendan Chan. So like what is more intimidating, Brendan? This giant big page here, or this little square.
Right.
This little square is far less intimidating.
nice.
So what I'll do is I'll just like work out a little figure. Now the thing, I'm not really doing anything seriously here, but like to me, this is so low effort and low like risk.
But it also gets your head in the game of that actual drawing as opposed to like the whole comic.
It does. And sometimes when you're drawing big, if I'm drawing a character here, I'll start to lose proportions.
Right.
Like I have to step back and go, whoa, like what am I looking at here?
Drew Struzan, who's an amazing illustrator,
Oh my God,
he does these little thumbnails of just his layout, and also the dark and light, and it's a great way to not get sold on something and just try everything. Try the thing you think this is a terrible idea, but I know that.
Well, one of my favorite things about Photoshop is like I love the little, I forget what they call it. There's like the little square on the side of your drawing that shows you the.
Kind of the shrunk down.
Yeah,
well, we used to have reducers. Do you remember those? It was the opposite of a magnifying glass.
I'm not as old as you, Kirk. I don't know. What is it? Was this the pirate days or what?
It was. No, it was it was an anti-magnifying glass that you would look at your piece and it would shrink it as opposed to being a magnifying. It was what's the opposite of magnifying? A shrink. We call it a shrinking glass. And so you take
this glass is shrinking.
This is good. This is a good shrink. You take like 4 steps away, and they would turn your 18 by 12 into this.
Yeah.
So the same thing, but so starting that way is a really good way to.
Yeah, because I find that in Photoshop, that little, and I wish I had sometimes when I'm drawing, is that little square, you kind of like get the bird's eye view of like, is this reading correctly or not? Like, is this, because you can get so easily in comic books lost in the details, and sometimes that stuff doesn't really matter. What matters is it, and I kind of got some blowback on this when I said it in a recent interview, because I said like, these days now, we have to have our stuff read on a phone screen. Like your phone screen is like this big. Now that's not to say that's the final result, or as an artist what I aspire to. I don't aspire to make my artwork look great on a phone screen, but it's silly not to think about that because that is still the way the majority of the world's going to see.
It's a distillation of it. Yeah.
And it's honestly not a bad way for artists to look at things, because if it reads like this, that's actually a good thing, because you're because if it falls apart that small, it's going to fall apart across the comic book shop. It's going to fall apart a lot of other ways too. So that's not a bad idea to dial into this sort of size here. One other thing I was going to say too about that, about the intimidation thing, stuff like that. There's a really great story that stayed with me. There's a book called.
Keep drawing.
There's a book called Art and Fear.
Keep drawing.
Yes. There's a book, but it's in this book called Art and Fear. They talk about, I think that's what it's called, or The Fear of Art or something like that. They talk about this. This class where like you were graded on your pottery, and one half of the class can decide if they want to be graded on their one pot, or one piece,
or like
I guess,
series,
or did you want to be graded on how many you did?
Oh wow!
And so they split it up into 2 groups, and the way the story goes is the group that did the one pot, like that just obsessed and made it try to perfect this one thing. They didn't hold a candle to the one that did like 20 or 30 of them, because just by doing more and more of them, the last one ended up better anyway.
Right, because you'd already played in that space.
Yeah, and
I
think that's a good, that's a great, like when it comes to drawing, like it's not about trying to make your one perfect piece. Just keep doing it.
There's something you're doing that I noticed that you do and a few other artists do and others don't.
Yes.
You always shade the nose, which is funny because usually it's a highlight. But you shade it because humans tend to have more blood vessels in our noses, so they do. But like Frazetta is the opposite. He just draws a little boop, and there's no shading. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's an indication. Yeah, no, it's interesting.
When I do my little people like this, I don't really have a nose. It's almost like somebody once compared it to. Remember those like in Playboy magazines? They had that little girl that they draw.
Yes,
is that the with
Leroy
the stockings
Neiman,
but she just had like just the eyes and the mouth.
She literally was like Frazetta distilled.
Yes,
like just
that's
literally,
true. That's very
true.
She
had like big eyelashes, thick wavy hair, and she was, I guess, naked with stockings.
But it wasn't like it was very artistically done. And she had the stockings and gloves that are like kind of like the graphicness. Again, talking about how it plays really well small.
Yeah.
And to me, like that's
she's a female gremlin, a femlin. But you and there's one other person I can't think of right now. Always do a shaded nose, which it's funny because it works, but it's very different than like Frazetta or.
Well, here's what I'll point out. You'll notice I did the shaded nose, but I did leave the little.
Right. You left the highlight on the top.
And the reason that is because like
all your characters are alcoholics. Obviously, they're drinking and they're.
You know what? It's I can't remember if it's like
he's Scottish, folks. It is a little bit.
It is a little bit of like one of the big influences I've had in later years was, or around the time I did Danger Girl was. Gil Elfgren, who did
Yes.
the pinups and stuff like
Yes,
that.
and he always had the
he
red-
has the rosy cheeks and the
red
rosy
nose,
nose,
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of. And in some ways too, I don't think he was the guy who did the famous. Oops, things are falling all over the place.
The gravity's turned up too high.
I don't think he did the famous Santa Claus ads, but
that was Haddon Sundblom.
yes, but I'm sure he must have been influenced because he had a little bit, again, that sort of like a little bit of the drunk kind of look,
Well,
which is like
he's also Santa Claus, so
Yes.
assume he's slightly plastered on.
yes, but I think there was just a rosiness or warmth that came through.
It's
with
great,
that
it's very signature thing that you do that
Yes.
I love. And again, some people do it, some people don't. There's a
Right.
good question that came by, and I'm kind of modifying a little bit. It was about when you designed your maquettes, your 3D art.
Yes.
Let me see, what was it? Oh, here we go. I have your MJ Spidey chair maquette. How did you design for that piece come about? That's from Ashley Brienzo. So
Yeah.
my question is,
I think
for all
I
the
know
3D,
Ashley. Yeah.
for
Hello,
all
Ashley.
the 3D pieces, do
Yeah.
you do a turnaround? Do you, because that's not just drawing a beautiful 2D thing. You're creating a sculpt, which has to look
Yes.
good from all angles.
Well, if memory serves, that was sculpted by Shu. He's a
Mark Newman? No.
No, Schumacher. He's a sculptor at Sideshow.
Ah, okay.
And I just always say Shu, so I guess.
I was like, his shoe sculpted.
Yes.
He's a very, very talented shoe.
Yes, but we worked together on a lot of the statues. He did all of my Spider-Man statues.
So
with
do
me.
you give him a 2D and he turns it around, or
Well, that
you...
was a little bit different because like that's a Marvel project, so I'm not as hands-on to the point where like with these
Right,
with
yes.
the fairy tale ones, I'm a little bit like.
Well, let's talk about the ones that you curate
No,
entirely.
I'll segue into that, but it's
Right.
but with that one, it's a little bit more of a lighter touch. Like I'll sort of do an initial pass and sort of send them on their way.
Right, 'cause there's
and in
corporate,
that case,
yeah.
in that case, it was based on a comic book cover I had done where Peter and MJ were on the couch in that sort of like embrace. So
and she was doing that, yeah.
Yeah, so they really liked that idea. So we kind of like said, oh, how can we translate this? We can't make a whole couch. Let's make a love seat or something kind of like to that degree. So we did that, and the tricky thing, and this is also the same too with like 2D art, but 3D art even more so. When you have two characters interacting,
Yeah, it's a jigsaw puzzle. Yeah.
The complexity goes up like tenfold, because that's, and then also too, not only two characters interacting, but two characters interacting in a way that needs to look very natural and sort of very light and delicate. That is a challenging thing to do, and we did have to go back and forth quite a bit to get the sense of embrace, but not like he's like squeezing too tight or like he's kind of,
well, because they also have to be cast, I assume, separately.
Yeah,
and then,
there's just so much to figure out with that. So it's like, that was a tricky one, but it really came out well in the end. In fact, actually, I give Sideshow a lot of credit too, because with the initial version, the Peter Parker portrait wasn't really connecting with the audience.
That's a drunk test right there.
Yeah.
Peter Parker portrait.
That's right. And I got
by the end of it, we're going to have him say it again. Peter Parker portrait.
Peter Parker portrait picked up. Yeah. So like, but the feedback from the audience said they weren't super crazy about that version, and Sideshow went back and we dialed it back in and came up with a portrait that just worked much better.
This is not a question from anyone here, but for me, when you do a portrait like that, which is based on a comic character, you ever use a reference of an actor, like any of the guys who played Spider-Man, or do you have like just sort of a idealized version?
What I'll often do is I'll find like, it's never really good, especially if you don't have a license to to overly focus on one particular likeness, but I will get a type.
Right.
And I'll collect enough, like 3 or 4 different references
Who
of
are
a
your
type.
actors that you use for your Spider-Man? Like just the guys that kind of like, I mean.
That's a good question. Actually, it's funny.
Thank you. I thought of it myself.
It's funny. This might get a cringe factor because I'm not sure where he falls in pop culture now.
Right.
But like when I was doing some Peter Parkers years ago, there was Jared Leto when he was much younger on a show called My So-Called Life.
Yeah.
I thought he kind of had a young Peter Parker kind of look back then. His face was a little bit like softer kind of looking, and it kind of reminded me of the Ramita kind of look. Sometimes it's always good to see what the artists before have done. And in that case, I thought like, oh, that kind of looks like a Peter Parker. He was one of several that I kind of was like, trying to figure out like what's a look that I could kind of like pull out. But it was specifically his younger acting days.
Draw a Peter Parker?
Yeah,
since we're talking about it, and I know
it's
a popular character with you kids today, with Spider-Man.
So Peter Parker, like I said, he kind of has like you kind of can't go overly. Again, you don't want to give him that like super chiseled look. I don't think that.
Right, he's a teenager technically, right?
Yeah,
Still?
I mean, it's like I always think of him kind of more in that college age nowadays because of the movies and because of like kind of the Ramita years and stuff like that. But yeah, he kind of has like that. Let's see here. So I usually.
Well, what's funny is you go all the way back to the who's the guy Ditko.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was also the art style of the time, but he was just kind of really skinny, nerdy, what their version of a nerd was.
Right. Especially, the Ditko years.
The Ditko years,
He had that kind of like Urkel kind of look.
Yes,
like
exactly. It's like, oh gosh, I got spider powers.
I did
but that's what worked about us, I think. Let's just face it, most of the people who read comics are not the athletes out. Not that athletes don't like
and that was all
books,
Stan's whole thing, right? Was to kind of give real people with real problems.
Right, that's
not
why I loved Marvel. They weren't super people, they were normal people. They were
Right.
super people with normal problems.
Right.
So Jared Leto, anyone else?
It's funny. It's been a while since I've thought about this because now I just do it out of muscle memory. This was like back when I was first doing some covers on ASM during the Ramita Jr. Straczynski run. But he was one of them. I'm trying to think if there was like in later years because I haven't thought about this in a while. I would say probably like a young George Clooney too. Again, it's kind of like
he's a little more chiseled. He's a little less nerdy.
Bit more, but when you think of him like in the ER days, he kind of had a little bit more of like a doughier face kind of.
Right. Yes, he was a little pudgier. So the triangle, as we all know, or if you are not an artist, what they call the triangle, the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. Those shapes, how wide the eyes are, how short the philtrum is, which is the distance from your upper lip to your nose, the bottom of your nose. That's what makes you either a good caricaturist or if you're drawing a Spider-Man or a character. And that's a trick with all comic artists. Yeah. Which, AI has a problem with, which proves that artists still do something better, is making them look the same from every consistency.
That's the problem with AI. It's like even when you're really impressed with it, it can't always duplicate the same
even
trick twice.
Even those Bigfoot things they're doing every day, like 12 a day, he looks like a different character in half of them.
I was just watching this amazing one the other day. I mean, I admit it was amazing because I was convinced, like, is this CG or is this it was like stormtroopers touring around the Death Star. But then you see the stormtrooper mask is not consistent.
Right.
It keeps changing. Like it kind of looks like the J.J. Abrams one, and then it goes back and forth.
So you guys don't have a turnaround. Like if you're a comic artist, you go to Marvel, you get your job. Like we love your stuff. So do they give you a turnaround? Like here's what Spider-Man looks like today? Or
I imagine back in the day they did.
Right. Now it's
not as much now because we're in the age of like everybody wants.
Well, the artist wants their version.
Everybody wants the stylist. I'm sure in the Jim Shooter days, who just passed away, but I think he was much more pushed for that consistency. And I'm not even saying that was a bad thing. I think that served Marvel very well for a long period of time, especially if you want consistent readers and you're changing artists a lot. But not so much now. Like
kind of the 80s, you started getting the artist version. Like, oh, I really like,
Yes, you started that, and that was again what stole me away from animation was I saw this celebration of like
the original version of a character.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like you said, like
Arthur showed up a character. Can people see that kind of? So basically, with Peter Parker. Eyebrows seems to be a big thing. If you look at the Ramita one, he's very thick, pronounced eyebrows. Very Gallagher brothers from Oasis.
Well, it's funny.
Unibrow, but
you say Ramita. He to me is the last guy who kind of created the Marvel look. I mean, maybe it's because how to draw comics the Marvel way.
Yes.
But I mean, Ramita and Buscema to some degree.
Yes.
I mean, Kirby was one of the guys. Like he had his own style. You knew it was a Jack Kirby. There was no question about it. So Marvel at least. And maybe DC did. I did not collect DC. Yeah. But Marvel definitely. And Neil Adams would look like a Neil Adams and a Bernie Wrightson. But Bernie, did he ever do like Spider-Man or anything? I always thought of him as like the horror comics.
It's funny. I got a huge compliment the other day. I showed my Ghost Rider cover I recently did, and for some reason the Ghost Rider. Everybody who's drawn Ghost Rider, the one that sticks with me is Bernie Wrightson did I think a sketch of Ghost Rider once where he's like really leaning into the chopper. And it's like. He almost looks like he's got chaps that like kind of just like spill into the ground kind of. And to me, like that's the coolest Ghost Rider I ever saw. And I was like, to me, it's like, I just use the other stuff for costume reference, and then I drew Bernie Wrightson in my head from memory because it's bad to pull it up because you'll just start recreating it.
Right.
But
yeah, how your brain interprets it. I mean,
but sometimes that's
enough. I think all art is that. I mean, all art is how you either interpret real life. I'm not drunk. Your listeners are drunk. Interpret either real life or an iconic character created like your Peter Parker is not John Buscema's or Arthur Adams.
No, because that's also something you want to kind of like you want to take your shot to some degree. You don't want to you want to respect it and have him recognizable. But what's the point of making it look just like somebody else? Now, like I don't know if you can see this on camera here, but to me already Peter Parker kind of like it's sometimes a little mouth. I've been told I have like a little tiny.
It's actually a Scottish thing. We don't have big full lips.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm learning.
It's very Northern European because if we had big full lips, they'd freeze and break off.
Is this true?
This is true. Yeah,
I love a live stream
thing.
where I learn things, even if they're not true.
No, that's absolutely true. That's why we have big hairy beards and mustaches that grow.
Speak for yourself, soldier.
Well, if you didn't shave, if you didn't trim it, you'd look like a.
I shaved this morning. What do you mean? It just sprouted out. This is my 5 o'clock.
But no, that's why we have thin lips.
Yes.
If you live from a northern climate, your lips literally would freeze because they're moist.
Wow. Wow, we've gone down a weird path here.
Well, but it's true. It's genetics.
I think Peter Parker has dark eyes too, kind of. So this is a classic.
Oh, you
Peter
don't draw
Parker.
a blue-eyed Peter Parker. You draw a brown-eyed.
I've only got a brown pencil here, or a gray, but I think he has brown eyes. Doesn't Peter Parker have? Chat. Does Peter Parker have brown eyes, or does he have like? I think he has brown eyes, but I could be wrong.
So here's just a couple things. They should be a future statue. J. Scott Campbell, Ghost Rider.
Oh.
A Grail collectible, hand-drawn original sketch. Okay, I know what that's about. Let me see. Growing up, what was your favorite? Oh, here we go. This is a good one. Intergalactic Mojito, which I think is our next drink.
Hey, yeah.
Speaking of that, time to drink.
Intergalactic Mojito, please.
Andy!
Hey, you look like. You still got some there.
It's called a drink, not a sip. Hold on, ready?
Hey-oh.
That was refreshing.
I'm drawing, but I'm not drinking.
I know. I'm drinking. I'm not drawing. It's shared tasks.
Yes.
Many hands make light work. Hold on.
You had a question there. I know.
Yeah.
We lost the
plot. Oh, here we go. Growing up, well, that's a relative question. What was your favorite? Okay, this is Intergalactic Mojito. Growing up, what was your favorite cartoon animator? Interesting question. And were you inspired by their art? I always see a little Tex Avery in your artwork.
Really? I love Tex Avery. I don't know if it shows up in my artwork as much.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
I love Tex Avery cartoons. In fact, I could.
For me, he was timing. Just those long pauses.
Oh my gosh!
The
you want to know too about Tex Avery too? Like, and this does come into play with my stuff. Is like he was very graphic. Like everything was very like if somebody hit a door, they'd be like really sharp. Right. And I think that stuff comes into play in comic books more than people think. Like I have a lot of Chuck Jones in my artwork. Yes. I have a lot of, and to me it's
your
gesture.
Line is very pointy. Like Chuck Jones had a very pointy, like a spiky line. I call it.
It's about gesture, and it's about sort of getting like sort of that like kind of like. In fact, actually, I learned that a lot from Jim Lee. When he would draw his superhero characters, I noticed they look like they were chiseled out of like
they were
rock.
Very pointy.
Yeah, and then if you're drawing a female, you don't want those chisels. You want it to be, maybe if you're doing She-Hulk a little bit, but then it's like a dance between the two.
Right.
But so it's like, but I would say probably one of my earliest ones is Don Bluth. Like I love, the Dragon's Lair video game. The fluidity of the Dragon's Lair video game.
That was his like unique particular style, which was sort of like Disney, but to the left of it.
And as I went on, I realized a lot of Don Bluth. What's in his stuff is a lot of Mark Davis.
Yes,
a lot of like Freddie Moore, Freddie Moore.
Freddie Moore was softer though.
Yeah,
Mark Davis
if you guys, we're getting in the weeds here, but it's like if you see like the
they're gonna learn something.
If you watch the mermaid scene in Peter Pan, all the mermaids, those were Freddie Moore girls, and they that's kind of set the basis for how Disney would draw girls.
That's true.
Princesses.
Make My Music was definitely
like that went all the way through Ariel and everything like that. That's like I'm sure Glenn Keane would say the same thing. It's like Freddie Moore. The Freddie Moore girl was how
they had the little butt nose. He did not shade the nose.
He did not. But there's like
and they're very very soft round shapes.
Yes. So Freddie Moore was very much. I'm sure Don Bluth got a lot from that. And then also too, I really like Milt Kahl.
I was going to bring up Milt Kahl.
Yeah.
Retired in Marin County where I was living. Yes. Doing when I was working at Lucasfilm, and I saw him at my bank.
Oh, really?
And I was behind him in line, and the gal at the checkout thing was like, "Thank you, Mr. Kahl." And so I went up to her and said, "Oh my God, is that Milt Kahl?" Because the book we were talking about, the art of
right. Because I don't even know if I'd recognize Milt Kahl. I've seen still photos
because the book, The Art of Life.
Oh, these look. Oh, there we go. Gosh, these look amazing. Well, now, what are these ones, Andy?
These are the Jungle Bird. This is a rum drink, Mr.
Oh my gosh!
Campbell.
Well, I'll cheers you with this one, but that looks fantastic.
I'm going to put this here, and then put that there. The drinking is part of this, so we're not wasting your time. This is a rum drink called a Jungle Bird. I'll put this over here. And it is cheers.
Cheers! I know.
Right,
how dare I?
I'm going to keep him from drawing as much as possible.
Let's take a taste.
Oh. That's good.
That is a good one. Oh my gosh, the tiki vibes are strong in that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of bitters in there.
Well done.
Cheers to you watching. Hopefully you're having
what was that? I'm a little tipsy now. Did we announce the name of this drink? What was this one?
Jungle Bird.
The Jungle Bird.
Aye, Jungle Bird.
You've got a Jungle Bird at your house.
I do have a Jungle Bird at my house. Chuck Jones is a favorite. I see him. Ashley Brinzo says there's a kinetic energy to it.
Yes, for sure.
I find that Laurie John Caravel finds that female hands and fingers are lovely. The Nine Old Men are legends, yes.
Well,
Viper Phantom is Googling every name.
You know what's funny, bringing all these names up too? This is why I think more and more, listen, who knows where AI is going, and I'm sure that's a big intimidating aspect to a lot of up and coming artists, like, oh my gosh, do I bother with AI and stuff like that? But to me, AI only kind of goes out and like regurgitates whatever the person who's prompting it tells it to do.
With the scraping, yeah.
Like with my art, any one piece can bring up a memory from childhood. They'll go, oh, I want to make, I'll make my Venom look like the red monster from the Bugs Bunny cartoon. And AI doesn't know I'm thinking of that, or doesn't know that I'm remembering that. And I'm going to filter that through my 30 years of knowledge to how I'm going to interpret that into that.
That's the thing about inspiration, not only what you're going to draw, but how you're going to draw it is a big part of, I mean, every artist. The thing about, again, going back to Brendan's question, where do you start? Start with what you like. Draw characters you like, draw things that you like. I mean, when I was a kid, and again, I was more of a creature designer than a comic artist. But I would always draw my version of Frankenstein, Creature of the Black Lagoon, King Kong. It would be what my take is for whatever reason. And then Star Wars came out and I started drawing my own Star Wars characters. So you do what you love. I mean, there's no, you know, if you love like pastels or you love, landscapes, paint those. Painting is interesting. Painting and drawing are very different disciplines, but they're both kind of obviously related to art. Drawing is much more of a distillation because
well, a lot of painters don't think in lines. They think in like shapes.
Like Peter DeSav is a great artist who really is more of a painter. Everything's shady. Heinrich Kley is another Kley, for those who've never heard of. Amazing artist from the turn of the century, pen and ink artist, Joseph Clement Cole. But they drew kind of around their characters, where like Mobius, Jean-Giraud Mobius is a very famous French comic. Was very graphic, very two-dimensional. But his sculpture was there. In fact, that was a question I would ask you. Have you ever played around with sculpting any of your characters?
You know, I did. There was years ago. We had a friend of mine. Well, the guy who worked with me on Danger Girl, Andy Hartnell. He loved this company. This is before Hot Toys. There was a company called Dragon Model out of, I believe, China, and they did like World War II action figures. They were kind of like, where you see like where Hot Toys has ended up. This was like the precursor, like where they're blowing away anything in like the Western market with like their like 12-inch figures. And we briefly had a license to do Danger Girl 12-inch action figures.
I remember those.
And
I think I have one, right?
Oh, do you really? So I was convinced that, okay, they're on the right track, but I need to help them with their female shape because they weren't nailing it. So I bought, I think it's called, what's the kind where you get, it's like flesh colored, but then you bake it and then it kind of Sculpey. Yep. So I tried to Sculpey out a articulated, this is a bit of a disaster, but I did try. And
because your drawings are sculptural. Like you can tell, it's funny. Most of the sculptors, now forgive me anybody who's a sculptor who draws, most sculptors I know do terrible drawings because they think it's literally a translation. They can draw something to sell the concept, but then their sculpts are amazing. And most 2D artists I know are not great at sculpting because, again, it's a different part of your brain. And
honestly, working on so many sideshow statues, I mean, it's almost like a badge of honor that I've lost track of how many statues I've done with them. But I've had to train myself to think in turns.
Right.
Like
that's what I was curious.
I'm probably the closest thing to being a sculptor without actually knowing how to do it because I've had to think and have so many conversations.
I've seen your drawings when they they're coming out. They show your like three turns of like here's the front, here's the side, and here's the back.
Yes, and it's like, and we actually did take. I mean, both Tanya and I did take a ZBrush class. Actually, our good friend David Igo, you know David, and he taught, or still teaches, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, shout out Dave Igo's ZBrush class.
Yes, so we took that. Adi Granov, I know, took it as well. And it's like it's a cool class, but it definitely gave me an appreciation for the software for sure. But also just like
the interface though.
Yes.
It's so not art. Look, I'm trained as a sculptor. I sculpted for a living.
Yes.
It is not. It's like I met the guys who made ZBrush back at like version 3. I said,
yeah,
I love what you can do with it, but it's like learning how to fly a plane to make a sculpt.
Yes.
It's very dense.
Like I can see how if you use it every day,
yeah,
it becomes second nature.
Well, it's like Photoshop.
But I wasn't going to be that guy who uses it every day. And actually, Tanya and I recently talked about it, and we said like, I said, do you remember much of like ZBrush if you sat in front of it? And we were both like, we don't, because we didn't keep it up.
Well,
It's
funny because I sculpt and I want to just do a clay sculpt and then scan it and turn it into a 3D model as opposed to or clean it up in because I know a friend of mine who does that. He does, like it's 80% there, but doesn't do pores and textures and all that.
Yes.
And then scans it and cleans it up in 3brush. So that's in ZBrush.
ZBrush, yes.
Which is a 3brush.
Oh,
There's 3 dimensionals to it. I'm not drawing, you're drunk. I wish I got that drunk that fast. I spent so much money trying to get that.
The good old days. Yeah. So here we got Peter Parker. It's like what I probably would describe now that I've kind of drawn him kind of is like, his hair is a little bit light here, but like what I also remember about Romita Sr. was his Peter Parker always looked like he had high anxiety. He always he's very nervous. Tense all the time. He's never relaxed. The Romita.
He's a terrified high school kid.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension up in here with the brow. Like again, that's probably why he made the eyebrows so pronounced.
Right.
So like I said, the little tiny mouth, like almost like he's clenching. Like.
Now, do you ever go like, I'm going to give this guy, I don't know, maybe a character you create. You can't just go like, hey, I'm going to give Wolverine a huge nose, because you sort of draw what I would say are idealized human characters.
Yes.
Which is what
hyper real, or I've heard.
Well, Alex Ross paints like person. I mean, he's like more like Norman Rockwell, where he gets actual people and he uses them.
Yeah, and before like there was the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that was the closest thing we could imagine to like, oh man, could you imagine if they made a movie and they look like this?
Yeah,
and now they kind of do.
And his superheroes have like wrinkles in their underwear. Like they actually have, his book that came out is like, this is my neighbor, this is my gardener, this is the people I use as reference for.
Well, you have to. You can't really think of things out of thin air.
That was my question. What do you use? Because I know you're just kind of drawing off the top of your head. But do you have 3D models? Do you have one of those little mannequin?
Only recently did I get one of these like little Japanese they're like rubber. Like I have one that's like I stuck an Arnold Schwarzenegger head on it. It kind of looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But is it for like drawing weird angles?
But that's only recently because I kind of wanted to. What I had to do actually after I'd been in the business for like already a few years, I realized I needed to rein it in a little bit. When I look at my early work, I was getting a little rubbery, and I was so in love with Art Adams. Right. And Art Adams is great at exaggerating.
Yeah.
I realized I was exaggerating his exaggerations, and that was a weird spot to be in. So I needed to ground myself a little bit. So I spent a few years trying to like look a little bit more realism. Not that I want to be a real artist. I wanted to bring in some realistic artists. Grounded artists. Let's go with grounded.
We're gonna be grounded in an hour.
So that was kind of like how do I sort of rein this in a little bit? And recently I got these pose models like kind of like
interesting,
and they're kind of
they're
fun.
Silicone with a
they've got an underskeleton. In fact, it's funny that I stuck a Schwarzenegger one on it because its elbow started ripping and you started seeing the underskeleton. I was like, it's just like the Terminator. It's like he's breaking free.
But do you use that for weird pose? Because I assume, with your history,
sometimes
like you've done a lot. You can draw a guy running or punching or flying, but if you want a weird angle because you're gonna
sometimes that's what it helps. It gives you the confidence that if you can push it and go like, oh yeah, that can get into that
but
position.
Also coming from film background, like it's the lens. Like if you use an 18mm lens, that foot's going to be huge or that fist's going to be huge, and their feet are going to look like, but it works because mentally we've all seen movies where on a wide angle lens, it really distorts that. Do you kind of always draw it as if you're on now in the film world, a 35mm lens is considered human vision analogous. So most of the time, but when you see those things of someone flying and the fist is like the size of their head, and then their feet are little tiny things.
Right.
We accept it. We don't go, oh, he's got a giant fist and little feet.
Right.
It's like because we've seen it in the film. Do you?
Well, that's the thing too. Like I'll often, I think I just did this the other day. I'll show Tanya some photo on Instagram. I'll go like, if I drew it this way, somebody would say I drew it wrong, but it's a photo, and it's like a model doing something kind of crazy. And that's the problem, is sometimes we hold ourselves back as artists because we go, oh, that looks really cool, but somebody in the internet's going to say, you drew that wrong.
Well, you don't listen to those internet people.
Well, I usually don't, but the thing is like, you kind of want to, there he is.
There's that internet person.
But like to me, it's like, it's good for me even just to have the confidence of like, if I have this like rubber mannequin, I can kind of run around.
Right.
But also too, like sometimes I still like, if it's a character I haven't drawn before, I'll sometimes like to pull up like some reference, like, okay, if I was a casting agent and I cast this person, what's the type I would cast? And that gives me a good jumping off point. It's not that I'm going to do an exact likeness, but it gives me an idea.
That's what I was asking about Peter Parker. Do you have a guy?
Like right now, again, weirdly enough, I'm actually just thinking of like Ramita Senior. But again, if I was doing this kind of more over, I'd probably do some deep thought and kind of go, who does represent Peter Parker to me now? And I would probably still kind of go with the idea of like, well, what is sort of like a modern day like equivalent of like what I sort of think the Peter Parker type. I got another one. Probably Jake Gyllenhaal, probably young Jake. Yeah. He kind of has that Peter Parker kind of look.
Kind of a baby face.
Yeah. So to me,
he has all those big eyes.
Because again, I mean, I kind of cheated here. I have a little bit of a jaw here, but again, I still think it's a little more of a rounded face kind of.
He looks more athletic than the Ditko.
A little bit. Right?
I mean, Ditko literally, like you said, was Urkel.
It might be the drinks. Oh, the Ditko for sure. Yeah, this is definitely more Ramita Senior.
Well, it's interesting because story-wise, that's who he was. He was the nerdy kid who, what was the guy, Buzz or something? That was going to beat him up in the first.
Oh yeah, who is that guy? Yeah,
he became.
He's in the movie too.
Yeah, he became like his friend, sort of Spike.
See, this is where the drinks are hitting. Kicking,
yeah, exactly.
I'm sure somebody in the chat will say.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, I'll know it when I hear it.
Okay, the ink is wet, but the martini is dry. Nice one, nice one, Guy. Shout out to my buddy Guy. Okay, so here's a question that's come up a couple times. And I don't know if you can answer it. What's the next character coming in the fairy tale line, or is it a secret?
We tend to keep that a secret because we love that excitement of a drop. I
just wanted to answer them because three people
have asked.
But
I will say this. We are working on not one, not two. We have like 3 statues currently. Yes. The Sham.
Now, how much would you pay? Well, not one, not two, but 3 statues from J. Scott Campbell.
Hey.
Am I blowing out my microphone? Sorry. 3 statues from J. Scott.
Coming in hot. So
and they're all fantasy characters.
Yes, they're part of the same line.
Is this off the top of your head, or do you? There's a question without saying what they are, or any of your. Do you go, all right? I love Cinderella. I love Red Riding Hood. I love these things, or it's just like you've got a laundry list of fairy tale characters, and like, I could do that one.
We've had. I mean, now I'm not saying this as a humble brag. I literally have lost track of how many of these we've done, but I know we have an ongoing sort of wish list. And we check in with it every so often. I would say that list is probably currently.
Are you going to do any male figures, or are they always going to be chicks?
That's a good question. We do get that sometimes. Maybe it'd be adventurous to try that once.
I think I'd be a good Captain Hook. Just
I can see it.
Shmee?
Yeah, more of a Shmee.
Yeah, see. Yes, Captain Hook. I want to do the Disney version, but I love doing Hans Conley.
There's another version.
Yes. There was the Dustin Hoffman one.
Oh, not Shmee, I meant.
Oh, Shmee was Bob Hoskins.
Oh, yes, there was. You can't forget Bob Hoskins.
Take my money. J. Scott is the best. People love you.
Sure.
Raise your and drink to that. Please revisit The Little Mermaid. I have both Little Mermaids myself.
I will say this: mermaids have been in the discussion recently, and we have a very cool idea. It might be a couple statues out.
Do the reverse mermaid, a big fish head, and then naked lady legs and
Wasn't
butt.
there there's a funny Saturday Night Live skit where I think Amy.
No, it's yes. Kate McKinnon.
Oh,
it's like a blobfish version.
Like that fish that if you bring it back from under the sea, it collapses.
Yeah, she did the blobfish version. She's hideous. Okay, what is your drink of choice? That's asking, I guess, both of us.
You go first.
If it's just an alcohol, it would be a bourbon. I have many favorites. As a mixed drink, for the summer, I like Hendrick's Gin and Tonic. Anywhere else, I like a good Manhattan. Either a perfect Manhattan.
That's Tanya's drink.
But I like it. I used to only drink it with bourbon, but I found some ryes that I like. Most ryes are too spicy for me, but I found some really nice smooth ryes. So I think Manhattan, and then in the summer when it's really hot, a gin and tonic. And you?
Oh, very nice.
And you, Mr. Campbell.
I used to be really. It's funny. Speaking of with Comic-Con around the corner, it was a Comic-Con years ago where somebody got a round of Moscow Mules, and that was that was my go-to.
Yummy.
That was my go-to for years, especially in the summer, because it's a very summery.
I do the Kentucky Mule, which is a Moscow Mule with bourbon.
Yes. That's a good one too. I've enjoyed that as well.
Vodka to me is very uninteresting unless it's potato vodka, like Chopin, or because it has a little sweetness to it. But yeah, straight vodka is kind of.
But recently, I've kind of gotten into a drink called the Aviation, which not every bar makes. I know it's got
not the Aviator, the Aviation.
Aviation, yeah. It's got gin in it. It's got.
Is it Aviation gin?
You can do it with Aviation gin.
That's a double. That's an Aviation square.
I tend to like Empress gin because it's from Vancouver. A connection with my wife, Tanya.
Wait, your wife's Canadian?
Shocker. Oh, here she is.
Call ICE.
I don't know.
Ooh, political.
I don't know. Maybe we can pick up on the camera that she's laughing off screen here.
She is laughing and throwing money at me.
Wow, I didn't catch that. But yeah, so that's I tend to like the Aviations. I've been told it tastes like jet fuel. So I don't know. It depends on who's drinking it. But I find it very nice.
Well, you're Scottish.
I don't even think of myself as like
Here we go.
that kind of drinker.
Here's a question I was curious I was going to ask from David Schweitz. Yes. Schweitz? When you're in your study working, do you like music in the background? And if so, what kind? Or do you prefer silence?
I don't prefer silence. In fact, again, not to bring up Tanya again, but she's often saying like, you can't ever have silence. I'm just like, I can't. That's true. I always have, even when I'm cooking.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I always have to have a soundtrack to my life going on, which is ridiculous. It's very 1980s kid of me.
Was it 80s music?
Gotta have
or
a mixtape.
Like
no. I mean, I do like my 80s music. No, I actually stay pretty current, but I'd say these days it's a combination of YouTube videos just to pass the time, and especially deep dive ones where I don't have to keep changing.
But YouTube videos about something almost like documentary style or just anything?
The documentary ones are good because then you don't have to change it as much. But I do listen, probably it's 50-50, probably that and like music. Like recently, I've been doing this deep dive with this band called Ghost that I'm super into, and I've been playing Ghost. So
if you want to draw like J. Scott Campbell, listen to Ghost.
Yeah, every Tanya always watches me and goes, of course it's Ghost that's on right now. But like, but it's true.
Not goats.
Not goats. No, Ghosts.
Like, I listen to goats.
Or
screaming goats.
Yes. But yeah, no, I always have something on it. I have a gazillion playlists on. Got Spotify. I often say this. Spotify. Sadly, I heard they don't treat their artists terribly well, so I do apologize. But as a consumer, that is the best subscription I have. Like the value I get out of Spotify, I would pay 3 times the amount because I just go like, I have Spotify on all the freaking time. I was really resistant too. I was one of these guys who wanted to own music, but like it's just like
it's our generation. Like,
but to have like the whole world of music, it's like it's crazy.
But do you have? We're going to take a break in about 3 minutes, so we can use the facilities.
But we'll be back.
We're coming back. We're just going to drink more and use the restroom, and not in that order. Is there a kind of like? Is it because I like classical music or like comfort music for me, which is like 70s and 80s?
Yeah.
Where I'm kind of, it's not heavy metal. Like I can't draw to that.
Yeah.
Although because of the punk, I was a big punk fan, and it's part of my DNA. I could listen to the Ramones all day long, and it just. But do you use music to like I'm gonna do Venom, so I'm gonna get like heavy metal?
Well, yeah, like for instance, I wasn't drawing Superman, but the Superman movie just came out, and I was able to see it on the Warner Brothers lot, which is really fun, and it got me nostalgic about the John Williams.
Yeah,
like we were just talking about this, and so I broke out. Hadn't heard in years, but the John Williams score, and
But do you like a
little bit? You kind of want to a little bit like if you're not entirely, but like it does help. Like it does help to get into a mindset, and music plays a lot into like kind of what's coming out on the page. I
agree. No, I do it when I'm writing. Sometime if I want to like
it can't be lyrics though, right? Because if you're writing can you write to lyrics?
I can write to lyrics if I know them.
Okay.
Because
you'll zone them out.
Yeah, if it's like Carmina Burana, where it's all in Latin.
Yeah. Yes.
Somebody asked Neo 06M 2003. How drunk are you guys? We're too drunk. Too drunk.
I would definitely say
not TOO number 2 drunk.
I would say tipsy, but I would.
He's tipsy.
Tipsy.
Yeah,
tipsy.
I can drink a lot, sadly.
But I was I was tipsy after the shot though, so I'm a lightweight.
You're a Scotsman. What are you doing?
It's sad.
All right, when we come back, we're going to leave in 1 minute, take a little break, or the next 5 minutes, whatever. It's not hard out. There have been a couple requests for a Black Cat drawing.
Black Cat. Well, maybe we'll round out the little show here. This is my second drawing of the evening.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I do Black Cat.
Peter Parker, which is fun. I didn't.
Black Cat drinking.
Yes. Well, maybe I can have him looking over at Black Cat very tensely. So
there you go.
You know what's sometimes funny too? You'll see right here too. This is a problem. Sometimes drawing fast. Is the pen doesn't want to keep up with as fast as I'm actually moving.
Oh, really?
Which is probably why I would think digital is kind of appealing to me because you don't have to worry about your pen not keeping up.
Do you have a Wacom tablet and
I do.
you play around with it for coloring?
I have actually the 32, which is they don't make anymore actually, which it's just gigantic. It's amazing. It's basically like this, but it's a screen.
It's a little intimidating. I was gonna get that, and I got the 24.
Well, it must have been intimidating because nobody bought it. They don't make it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was gonna get it, and I think everyone's like, "It's not. You're not painting an oil painting."
Speak for yourself.
No, don't paint with oil paint on your Wacom tablet.
Oh, I see. Literally.
No, Scott. It's because
if I have a few more of these, you never know. It might be a little messy.
A lot of Scottish love. Cheers, sláinte lads and lassies. I found out I'm adopted, so I found out this is nothing to do with Scott or his art, but it's my 30 seconds. I found out I'm much more Northern European than I even knew. And
through like what's it called, 23andMe or something?
Yeah, I did 23andMe and then found out who my biological father was, and there's a lot more Danish, Swedish, Scottish than I knew.
That can rock worlds. that thing.
It doesn't. Yeah. Oh, I have the whole stories, but it didn't shock anybody. I was like, wait, you're not Indonesian? I was like, no, I'm not. All right. Well, technically, we're supposed to take a break right about now. Are you?
Wow.
Do you want to finish?
Do you think Bernard is going to join us?
Bernard, he might after the break. Bernard, we have a special guest.
So if you guys don't want to miss this special guest,
you got to come back to meet Bernard. He's a huge.
Be back in 2 and 2.
Huge fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait till you're done with his ear.
Oh yeah, you got to see the ear. The ear's important.
I mean, Peter Parker's ear is kind of his character.
Oh my God! If I could draw an ear in my sleep. I've drawn so many ears. Nobody ever looks at the ear, but you got to.
It was a big thing in sculpting, actually. Can you sculpt in a human ear? Because they're really complicated for sculpting. But drawing, there's a weirdness too. But
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, it's and I'm sure at this point too, an ear is one of those things where you draw it so many times. You don't check in with it after a while.
Like, it's kind of draw a Scott Campbell ear.
My ear could be way off at this point. Like, I haven't checked in with the ear for a while. It's like, maybe I should look at a human ear again.
If your fans are looking at your ears, then you're not doing it.
Well, also too, like I have very long fingers. Like they're very the people say piano.
Braggart. Humble brag.
But people often say oh, your fingers are so long and lanky. It's because I'm drawing my own hand.
Should be a guitar player.
It's I'm sure if I had sausage fingers, they'd look like sausage fingers.
Well, that's what I got. I got sausages.
You got to come over. I got to draw your hands.
There you go. Yeah. You want Hulk hands, Jack Kirby I
do need a Hulk hand.
There you go.
Next week I'm drawing the Hulk. So
I'll shave my head and look angry at you.
Actually, you don't have to shave your head. I like a good Lou Ferrigno shag.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Somebody just sculpted a friend of mine on Facebook, Tony Cipriano.
Yeah.
Did a Kirby Hulk, and you forgot his fingers were flat. His fingertips were flat. They were blocky.
And he was very Frankenstein-y kind of looking.
Very Frankenstein-y, very blocky.
He's kind of got a slow look to him. He kind of almost looks like yeah.
Yeah, he's developmentally challenged. He's not
but I could use that term too.
The dialogue would fit it. It was like Hulk smash.
Yeah, totally.
He was a brilliant scientist. Became kind of monosyllabic.
I understand when you're writing these things, you got to change it up every once in a while. So Smart Hulk was an interesting shift.
Well,
I like my Hulk looking very sort of
just
caveman.
Well, the Mark Ruffalo works, but I kind of loved. It was funny because I'd forgotten how blocky Kirby Hulk was. I mean, he was literally his fingertips were just like somebody cut him with a blade.
And his face is very asymmetrical. Very sort of
heavy forehead, short.
The teeth kind of just underbite.
Yeah,
it's very cool. Yep.
Mort Drucker influence in your work.
That was the one I didn't use actually. Even before Art Adams, Mort Drucker was my all-time.
He and Jack Davis were my Marvel.
Gosh, yeah. I remember walking into a supermarket, and I was a huge Star Wars fan at this point, and the Mad magazine cover with Yoda with Alfred Newman, which I didn't know at the time. I was like, why does Yoda look like this? What the heck's going on? I remember picking it up and seeing the Empire Strikes Black or something like that. And it was that blew my mind. I remember going
I remember he did a thing where he did Miss Universe pageant contestants, and he had contestants from Nigeria and Sweden, and each one was a caricature that embodied the genetic makeup of
that's impressive.
Of that population.
Because you have to also remember too, that was pre-Google.
Oh, that's what I mean. But Mort Drucker. I mean, we could probably do an hour on how amazing.
Oh my gosh! In fact,
his caricatures were spot on, but generic women from different cultures. He had one from India, one from Sweden, one from Spain, and you're like, that's what they look like. He has distilled it down.
He's a genius. No, he was a genius. And actually, like I said, he's the. I've never met him too, which is my biggest heartbreak because he lived a long life. He got into his 90s.
He didn't do conventions though, did he ever?
One year he was at San Diego, and I was told this 30 minutes after he'd done an appearance. And I was like, what? And I booked it over there, and I just missed him. But he's the one like idol of mine that I did not get to meet, and it's like I'm very sad.
Chuck Madero says your Star Wars cover was very Mort Drucker.
Yeah, no, Mort Drucker comes out of my work a lot, especially more
when you're doing a caricature.
I used to push it down when I first got into comics because I thought that was a look that maybe shouldn't emerge into my style.
Too comedic or too?
Yeah, I just thought, I'll compartmentalize that. I'll put it over here, and I won't do that.
Right.
But then it kind of like, especially once I started doing more research into the EC comics and realized how much of his roots were in that sort of the
Tales
Al
from the Crypt
Williamson kind of like and then if you see like the what's it called? We were talking about Frazetta, and Frazetta had his like cartoony style and his sort of like
Frazetta's cartoon.
So then I started letting it emerge more and more, and it comes out a lot actually in more.
Interesting.
Again, that's why I always think with this AI thing, it's like I don't think AI would pick up on that. I love Mort Drucker. Like it doesn't know that.
I wonder if you could feed it like 7,000 Mort Drucker panels,
but it won't know how to dial it in. I know how to dial in just enough. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's why I think
AI is not going to take away.
AI is going to distill your style down to the most boring, predictable version of it. And as an artist, you don't want to be the predictable, boring version of yourself. You know,
Extreme maybe. It definitely shows in Danger Girl your Mort Drucker influence.
And also a short-lived series I did called Wildsiders. There was a lot of Mort Drucker in that one as well. And it comes out here and there. But yeah, those Star Wars covers definitely had a lot of my Mort Drucker. I definitely wanted to do like my Harrison Ford has a lot of Mort Drucker in it.
It does. Actually, I've seen that. Your Harrison Ford.
Well, Harrison Ford is a very but
it's caricature.
Asymmetrical face.
But you have you have that. He's also a really tough impression because he's very, hey kid, he's just kind of a breathy white guy. There's not a lot. I mean, that's what's interesting. Like,
I'm not going to say who said this. This is a friend. This is a friend of mine who worked with him, but there was apparently on set in recent years. He had a moment where like he was asking him to do this scene where he needs to blow out this candle.
Right.
And he got a little diva-ish about it. And I guess he looked to his handler, he goes, but I don't want to blow out the candle. and the guy goes, oh, but Harrison, you're so good at it. Like that. and he goes, all right.
He's I wouldn't say he's grouchy.
It breaks my heart that he's that grouchy.
He's not. Yeah, he's not.
Because you see interviews with him in the '80s, he's so charismatic. Yeah. He's a different guy. Yeah. He's such a different guy.
Yeah,
listen, I always love Harrison Ford, but gotta love some 80s Harrison Fords where it's at.
But Mark Hamill does that amazing impression. It was like, tell you, kid, it's not that kind of movie.
Yeah.
All right, on that note, we're going to take a break.
Sounds good.
Because Scott needs to pee really bad.
Wow.
Not me.
You got that the message I sent.
He keeps tapping my knee. I'm kidding. It's not Scott.
And I've inked this spider, right? This reads as Peter Parker now,
right? You've
not
touched your jungle bird, and that sounds dirtier than I meant.
But if somebody sees this, they go, yeah, that's Peter Parker. That's all you need to sketch to do.
I mean, yeah.
Look,
all right,
all you need is that spider. You got to have that spider there.
We're out!
Sideshow and myself released the initial wave of fairy tale fantasies. It was really, really a strong response from the fans. They really loved seeing these designs I've done over the years finally in 3D form that they could collect and put on their shelves. So, of course, we wanted to keep this line continuing on. What I like about the extension of the collection is now we're getting to go into other areas, exploring villains, other characters that sort of break away from necessarily princesses and that sort of thing, but other aspects of fairy tales. Initially, when I first started doing these images, your gut instinct is to default to sort of these iconic representations that we've seen over the years, but I got way more excited the more I could push the bounds and sort of explore my own creativity. Change the color schemes, play around with sort of the outfits, still hitting those little touches that make it a recognizable character that we all know, but I actually really enjoy going down the avenues of how can I change it. That's what makes it unique and special to be reimagined. With Cinderella, this was the first of the collection where we took the initial illustration from the calendar and actually reinterpreted the pose specifically for a statue. What would that look like when the dress was being created? This is a freeze frame before the holes are closing up and the dress is materializing. The holes have a magic ring around it that's illuminating with paint. The bodice and the upper part was made to look like it was almost made of glass. all these little touches add up to something, as I mentioned, reads as, oh, this dress is magic. Red Riding Hood was a completely different tone to any of the ones we've done so far. I love the idea of getting the creepy forest element in. We even want to give her a little bit of a badass vibe in the sense that she's got her crossbow too. In other words, she's no damsel in distress. The story we wanted to tell with this statue is that you got the sense she was perhaps in a warmer part of the forest and she's wandered into a more dangerous environment. It's gotten colder, there's snow on the ground. Suddenly a sense of foreboding kind of rolled into the statue, and that's the moment you're catching. The opportunity came about to create a second version of Alice, and Tinkerbell, I think we all immediately came to the same conclusion. Well, you have to do a gothier version, Dark Alice. How can we make this even more unique and special? And I think the idea of the card suits, limiting the color scheme to black, white, and red, the colors of the playing cards. Tinkerbell, the solution presented itself. You have a character who's very covered in leaves, and leaves, of course, have seasons. Seasons have different color schemes. For whatever reason, the fall one just jumped out. These autumn colors, it just looks so great. I mean, when we saw the color scheme initially, we're just like, oh, that's the one. It's got its own special qualities. The Evil Queen was one that we've been talking about since the initial 3 statues. I really enjoyed doing very pure interpretations of an idea, and that's pretty much what you're seeing with the Evil Queen here. This Evil Queen is the aging supermodel. She's very elegant, very runway ready. The textures we're able to work in really comes through, I think, in the paint. Crushed velvets, translucent, kind of almost like see-through clingy materials that really sort of ride along her legs. There's no shortage of detailing with her. From her rings, her jewelry, her crown, the mirror, the ornamentation on the mirror. It's a very, very meticulously thought through statue. It still takes my breath away when I see that first 3-dimensional version of it on a table. It never fails to get a wow factor from me, so I can only imagine how exciting it's going to be for fans of this line to see these same 3D results that have totally knocked me out. I definitely can say without a doubt that the statues that you see in this line are the closest, most accurate interpretation of what I draw in 2D in a 3D form. The Fairy Tale Fantasies line, almost more than anything I've ever worked on, is probably the most collaborative experience I've ever had. This is a very detail-oriented line. Everything is very carefully thought through. It's been very fulfilling for me, and I think the fans see it. Style, I think, is what sets this apart from everything else that's out there. I'm thrilled to be able to expand and to go into other areas and do even more. There's no limit to where we're going to be taking this collection.
Oh, yes.
Cheers! Slancha, we're back.
Cheers. Welcome back.
We're drinking and we're binking. We're having a great time Scott's drawing, and I'm drinking, and I wish I got this drunk this easily. I'd have so much more money in my bank account. But these are, and Andrew, our bartender, is making very good.
Oh my gosh, Andrew, you're
in
killing
case
it.
you're going to ask, because you guys are a bunch of alkies, this is a Manhattan, and Scott's behind a whole drink.
I am, but I'm going to do more drawing and drinking.
You're drawing.
Yes.
All right, so once he's done with whoever that is,
Some lady.
some chick, he's going to do a black cat. Somebody asked, JJ Joe, Mr. or Miss, I don't know your gender. I will not misgender you. Ask, what does JSC, that's you,
Yes.
find the most difficult to draw? And that could be characters or body parts or cars or whatever.
I've never, as much as I've tried, I still cannot find joy in drawing background buildings of any kind. They're just such a drag.
Do you farm it out, or you just do it?
I wish. I probably should. At this point, if there was one thing AI could do that I would be happy to hand it to, and maybe it can, but I'm sure it'll give it away, is just draw me some buildings, because it's just like...
AI. Just go to AI, say, here's the angle. Just throw some black and white buildings in there.
And here's the reason, because I think, this is what I found, you can kill yourself on a building, and maybe one or two people will mention it.
Yeah.
But if you don't draw the building, you're like, where's the background? It's like
in the film world, you should just use what they call a short focal length. So it's all blurry. Just use a fat marker and just draw some, and so everything's more like a close focus.
Yes.
And the background has in the film world we call that bokeh. B-O-K-E-H.
Oh, yes.
Bokeh.
Yes.
The cameramen are nodding like, yeah, bokeh. It's like bouquet, but it's bokeh. And on a long lens, you get beautiful bokeh, and it's what makes things look cinematic. Is people are in focus, and then your background goes all soft and pretty and watercolor.
No, I could use some bokeh. But yeah, so that's to me, and also machinery. That
like cars. Like, do you hate drawing cars?
I don't hate it. Like, again, I mentioned earlier, I drew a Ghost Rider recently, and I had to, like, and motorcycles are harder.
A lot.
Oh my God, that's a skinless car. Right?
It is. Yes, with the whole engine and the wheels are they're always ellipses.
Yeah, there's like the inner guts of it that's just exposed. So, but if you do it well, people do notice. They do compliment you on that.
Did you use like a Harley, or did you have a classic?
You know what it is? I'm probably out of step in the whole like.
Well, he's Ghost Rider. He's been riding. It's got to be a Harley.
To me, it's like I'm sure it's out of step with where trends are, but I still remember the what's it called? I kind of got into motorcycle builds a little bit during the American chopper days. Yeah. And I heard a lot of people in the community hate their choppers, but like that sort of idea of like it kind of like you're leaning back.
They call them ape hangers.
Yeah, the ape hangers.
But that's from the 70s or
no,
Easy
I know,
Rider
but
in the 60s.
It just has that dramatic hero look.
Yeah.
When you're drawing superheroes, you want to crank it up to 11, as they say in Spinal Tap.
And you want the big V. I forget what they're called, the twin V engine.
And I really like
the ape hangers.
And on that show too, I remember we're going back about 15 years, but I remember but they always had that really fat back tire. Like the back tire looked like an inner tube or something like that. And then the front tire was really lean.
Skinny,
And to me, that
was very 60s actually.
Right. Yeah. They're probably calling it back. But in comic book terms, I'm always attracted to cranking up dramatic.
Exaggerating.
Yeah. Like, what is contrast? Like, there's this a guy we always watch on YouTube. He goes, contrast creates focus, I think is what he says, kind of. But he's right. Like, it's like, contrast really plays up. Like we were talking about, gosh, there was something I was drawing earlier too, and you were saying, I forget what it was. Oh, I think we were talking about the nose kind of thing with the to me, that's about contrast.
Yeah.
Like if you make a little tiny cool little highlight, it's going to have more punch if the nose is a little more.
Well, it's funny.
Like,
and Frazetta contrast is he just draws a little, basically almost like a semicircle with a dot, and that's the nose. And so the contrast is. It makes his women super feminine because they don't actually have a bone in their nose. Well, it's literally a little blob.
But again, it goes back to that Freddie Moore thing with the animation.
Right. Well, Freddie Moore was class. I mean,
you just kind of get the dramatic, like anything. Like if it's feminine, you want to crank up the femininity more, or if it's a male character, like we're talking about Jim Lee, hacking it like it's out of stone, will make the character look more heroic. Right. So these are the little tricks you kind of bring to like drawing, where you just kind of go like. To me, and again too, that's what I kind of like about with animation, kind of too. Like animation was kind of getting a little bit more where they're going more and more realistic, and now there's this big, strong pivot after into the Spider-Verse and this like K-pop Demon Hunters.
Right, to have fun with it. Go back to illustration.
It's about where you really punch up the extreme.
Well, Spider-Verse and Mitchell's versus the Machines had that fun with like the freeze frames that were very anime. And like Spider-Verse was doing, and Spider-Verse 2 did even more.
Totally. So I think
it's not trying to be a simulacrum of reality.
What's that word?
Simulacrum.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to simulacrum. And it doesn't have verisimilitude. Ha ha! Verisimilitude of reality. It's
very good.
Well, it's funny because Ilio, the new Pixar movie that just came out, is getting a lot of grief because it kind of looks like Steven Universe with what they're calling the bean mouth.
Well, I think
it's a style that
I think they fell into probably that rut. I mean, again, I'm a big fan of Pixar, but I think probably as a critic, you could probably see that anytime a studio or an artist in comic books falls into a rut where like you kind of are overly repetitive. And listen, I'm sure.
But there's the thing is like, you don't fall into a rut. You have a style that works for you, and is why you sell so many covers.
But even in my mind, I'm always making subtle knob shifts, kind of like with like so like. It's not always apparent, and you don't want to suddenly veer the car off the road.
Well, it's for you too. I mean, again, you're the guy doing it, so you got
right. But if you go back like 5 years or 10 years, you start to see, oh, I see where he shifted away from this or shifted towards this. Kind of like it's a slow thing, you know.
All right, Henry Jeremic, asked with a capital letter. That's why I caught it. Can you please ask, Scott, if drawing a certain character like Thor for inspiration, will you look at art from Kirby, Buscema, Simonson? Is there someone for a classic character like we're talking about the Hulk?
I mean, kind of like it's good always to like do even if it's just like 10 minutes of scrolling through the internet to just kind of reacquaint yourself with all of the above. Like to me, it's like, if I'm drawing a heroic character like Thor, you're gonna think Frazetta, you're gonna think Buscema. You're gonna want to like check in with all those because they're somewhere in the back.
That's where they live in your head.
They're in the back of your catalog, but like by looking at them again, you're like, oh yeah. I want to make sure I hit that note, or I want to touch on that. You know, Bisley's another one that does really great. Like
Bisley, I have 3 Bisley originals I bought at San Diego. And,
nice.
He was amazing because he was a painter more than a 2D artist, I think.
I think, I
mean, I have
his 2D stuff seems kind of rare.
Right. It's very graphic, actually. It's almost like the level of Mike Mignola. It's like very blocky blacks. Where his other stuff, I have his Slain, the Horned God. And those are just amazing paintings. And another guy, Alex Horley, is an amazing painter who cranks out these European comics, kind of heavy metal and just European comics that you don't get here unless you go to Stuart Eng. Shout out to Stuart Eng.
Oh, God, Stuart's the best.
Stuart Eng, NG. Look up him online. Amazing
bookshop.
Like everything. And he sells online. Sorry, I don't know if I'm not supposed to do that, but anyway, did.
I'm sure they don't care.
But the European comics, the painting, these guys just crank out these paintings where, again, I guess, I don't know if they pay them better or they're just like, it's interesting. The art is much more revered than crank out a page,
because these guys, even back in the 90s, were doing kind of a lot of covers compared to their interior work. Although I also own a couple of Bisleys too. I own prelims of his Batman Judge Dredd, but it was just prelims where he was like figuring it out. But this is in my early days of buying art.
But sure, it's still,
it was really cool. You see him like trying a few different and they're fully painted like Batman. So he's trying to figure out lighting and stuff like that. It's almost kind of cooler than the original page because I don't think they were printed. So it's like it's very fun.
I love seeing that. Like seeing pencils even from like. Hold on, you should try doing a Princess Anastasia. Hey Scott, this is from Dylan Chitty. Who's Peter's true love? MJ, Gwen, or Felicia? In your mind?
Jeff Lowe would make the argument that it's Gwen, which I'm sure that's
she's in the middle. That's the obvious choice.
That's a valid argument, and she's the love lost because of the. I'm an MJ guy. Like I think
it's MJ.
But I also bear in mind I got into comic books when McFarlane was drawing it, and MJ was I wasn't aware of the backstory. I was young. I didn't have the whole lore preloaded. So to me, I only learned about Gwen later. So to me, MJ was
like during Spider-Gwen or just like
way before Spider-Gwen. Like it's just
after MJ was killed.
Or Gwen was killed,
Or Gwen was killed.
No, I just again that would have been like in the.
MJ was first though, right?
No, Gwen was first.
Oh, I did not know. I remember.
Yeah, how many of these have you had?
I am not responsible for what I remember or don't remember. Under the influence of Andy's very alcoholic.
No, Gwen's long gone. Until she came back to life. I don't even know. Listen, I draw for Marvel Comics. I don't even know if Gwen's technically alive or not. I don't know what's going on. I think Spider-Gwen's an alternate universe, and I think Gwen's still technically dead, but that could even be wrong.
Okay, Gwen for sure. Here's a question.
Yeah.
Larry Spitzkoff or Spitzkoff Larry.
Okay.
And this has been asked 2 or 3 times. Are you doing any more of your 25th anniversary border variants?
Or
is that a thing
I would say that's if I was to ask the Magic 8 Ball, I would say the probability leans towards yes.
There you go. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth.
Listen, you don't spend a month drawing a bunch of little characters.
Yeah, it's true.
All around an edge, not to get multiple strikes of the iron.
Well, ask Sergio Aragonés.
Yes,
that's all he does.
Yes, no, for sure. Yeah, I would say without giving anything away, the probability is very high.
Michael Gilliam brings a big quote, a good point. It's like asking young kids who Spider-Man is. They're going to say Miles Morales.
That's true. And you know what? Cool, because it's like to me, it's like as old timers, like we love what we love, but it's okay for a younger audience to connect however they're going to connect.
Right.
And to me, it's like Miles, if it's got that freshness and that connection,
Sure.
and they love Spider-Verse, more power to it.
I
you
love
know?
Spider-Verse. I mean, I didn't know about Miles because I stopped collecting in the 80s.
Right.
So Miles was like, okay.
And I don't
but-
think, even drawing comic books, I don't think I fully understood Miles until I saw Into the Spider-Verse.
Right,
like,
right,
I
me
feel like
too.
that unlocked...
I'd heard of him, but...
that unlocked it for me. And you know what I really loved about Into the Spider-Verse too is it didn't force me to dislike or ignore Peter to like Miles. They could coexist, and I really liked that.
Well, that's what's great about
because
the
a
story.
lot of times that's what I think as old timers resist the new versions of them. It's
but
like
the multiverse allows everyone to exist.
yeah, you don't want to be told your version doesn't
Right.
count anymore or it sucks. Like it's like if your version is shown in a respectful way and like the other version can coexist with it.
Absolutely.
It's
But that
all
was the
win,
genius
you know?
of the multiverse with Marvel, and like you can have 7, 8 different Spider-Men in different universes.
Oh yeah. Well, at this point, I've lost count of how. There's
Here's
a lot of derivatives at this point of all these characters. You know?
Here we go. A couple
Yeah.
questions. Will you do a 6-scale Gen 13 figure?
There has been. Okay. Right now, I'm doing a series of statues through a joint venture between McFarlane and DC,
Oh, nice.
and I've been doing like they call them the DC cover girls.
Nice.
And there's been several of these statues that I've designed, and I did pitch them a Fairchild statue to consider.
Nice.
So we'll see. Ultimately, we'll see what they say. But I've pitched them, I'd say another dozen statues. And when I say pitch, I mean they're sketched out and everything like that. So
Right.
we will see how far this line goes. Right now, they just announced Mira from Aquaman, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn to say there's a poison ivy around the corner.
Ooh, nice.
But Gen 13 being under the DC license, I have pitched it, so we'll see if they take the bait.
Take the bait.
that I throw out there.
Here's a question. Will these sketches be given away? Yes.
These sketches, yes, these
they will
are
be-
to be given away.
there will
actually.
be
Where
a-
are we in the timeline with that, Kirk? Are we
We've
at that
got
point?
another half hour.
Okay. 'Cause I know
34
at some
minutes.
point there's a
So in about,
there's a
well,
way-
actually, in about 17 minutes, we're going to go and I guess there's gonna be a link.
Did we
There's
mention
gonna
they've been
be a
giving us
link.
drinks? Did we mention that? They've been drinking. They've been giving us
I'm
alcohol.
gonna drink your drink.
I know.
You're just-
I thank you, sir. I feel like I'm not ready
well,
for
you
this
are
one.
doing something. I'm just yammering away at you.
How dare you?
So yes, there is a giveaway starts in 5 minutes. I'm sorry, it starts at 5:30 or 5:33 or something.
Did we chase everybody out of the chat there, Kirk?
We
or is
did.
there,
No,
people
there's
there?
still there's diehards. I noticed that Jay Scott holds his pencil in somewhat unconventional manner. If you watch the video, if there is a
Run it back to the 15-minute part.
yeah. We talked about how he's crippled and a chicken sat on his hand when he was a baby.
Yes,
and,
yes. There's a lot of lore with that one. Yes, there's an origin story.
Everyone's
to that.
excited. You're giving away. Scott is behind in his drinks. Yes, thank you.
I know. Did I mention I was drawing?
Thank you, but yeah, he actually
I
is
didn't say
doing
the
something.
drinking and the drawing was going to be equally
Yeah,
proportionate.
exactly. I'm taking the heavy load on the drinking. He's
Yes.
doing the drawing.
Yes.
It'd be cool to get a sketch. Yep.
Are people liking this? Is this working?
Draw Danger Girl naked. No, that's just me.
Oh.
So he's
That's
drawing
a-
Cat. He's drawing Cat Stevens. Why do we gotta make it racist?
Wow.
He's just drawing a cat. She might be black. She might be white. It's just a cat.
Oh, baby, it's a wild world.
Ooh, Jay Scott sings. Let's do a harmony.
Yes, with
No,
with Billy
lost
Connolly.
everything to you. He had that nasal call. Let's just talk about music.
Yes, go for it.
Okay.
You first.
No. Oh God. There's a lot of people.
So many words.
J. Scott Campbell drawing Sailor Moon. Does he have any anime recommendations? Oh, someone else asked, do you have a favorite anime? For influencers.
Does
just like to
K-pop
watch.
Demon Hunters count? Probably not. I don't think
It
so.
does. It's anime-ish.
Tanya,
It's
what's a
anime-like.
good anime?
Attack on Titan.
Oh, I don't disagree. I disagree.
Attack on Titan is weird.
Yeah, strike that from the record.
I mean, it's popular.
I don't like it.
Wait. No, don't put me on the spot. I don't know.
Oh, somebody asked bourbon or rye. Bourbon. We are drinking bourbon.
This is
It's
bourbon.
a-
Yeah, I got to
All
think
right,
so, right?
right? Yeah, we asked for bourbon, man. Old fashioned.
Andrew's killing it with this. These are
really good.
These are awesome.
really good. You guys can meet us on the freeway in about 2 hours.
Don't say that. That's horrible.
Well, you don't want to meet
dare
your, you don't want to meet your fans. Someone goes, "Will you please focus on the drawing?"
I'm trying. I really am.
I'm sorry,
You
it's
have
me.
no
I'm
idea.
just gonna stop. I'm
You
just
have no
gonna
idea.
stop
I've redrawn this eye like
and
5
bring in the
times already. You have
special
no idea.
guest, so we don't steal focus.
Uh-oh. We woke somebody up. Who's this?
Oh, mate, how you doing? You all right?
Not really.
You all right, Scotty?
Let's fix your ear here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, he's got all floppy. How you doing? You all right?
Okay. Who is this?
My name's Bernard.
Bernard? Who
Yeah,
pronounces it that
I'm
way?
an English sheepdog.
English.
Yeah, I'm British.
British.
British. You're Scottish. I'm British.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah, what are you drawing?
I'm attempting to
What is
draw. I'm attempting to draw Black Cat.
A cat. Sorry. A trigger
Bernard.
is a trigger. I got
Bernard.
triggered. It was a cat.
Bernard, calm down.
I got triggered.
You threw hair all over the drawing.
I got
there,
triggered. I got triggered because you said it's a cat. It's just a drawing. Wait, is this a woman who plays a cat?
It's yes.
It's a woman who plays a cat.
That's what I've been told.
You're talking to Kirk's hand. You know that, right?
Am I? Suspension of disbelief here. Just totally ruined.
Yeah, it's weird. This is the weird part of my life is I can separate my brain into two different people. There's Kirk over here, and then there's me, Bernard.
Bernard, these sunglasses are so like 1990, like Smash Mouth.
That's right, mate. I'm cool. I'm an English sheepdog. I'm cool, like one of the
Is that
Beatles.
cool? Is it?
I'm like one of the Beatles,
Beatles.
except my dog. I'm a dog.
Do you like drawings, Bernard?
My show took a weird turn. Good luck, everyone. Kirk, can you please ask? Yes, Henry.
No,
Jesus, with your
have Bernard
Henry, you're so demanding. Are there any covers you would like to do? I'll have Bernard ask.
Yes.
Is there any covers you'd like to do to Homage in the future? Since he's already done Amazing Spider-Man number 39 and 194, do you want to do any more Homage covers?
Bernard, do you really
Homage.
care about this?
I don't, but Henry does. He's yelling at me. He puts my name in. He puts Kirk's name in capital letters, so he notices it.
He really wants his answer. You know, it's funny. I am not a big, even though I have done my share of homages, as they say. I'm not a big homager actually, so nothing really is on my like wish list. Although I did just recently do the Marvel 25th anniversary recreation. That's with the border of all the. Do you know this character?
I think that's what it means. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. That was on my.
That's an homage.
It does count.
You're
as
not
an
going to
homage.
draw Fing Fang Foom.
Wow, deep
It's
cut.
a deep cut.
Well done.
I was a member
done.
of. Speaking of Foom, I was a member of Foom.
Well, how does that work?
Well, Friends of Old Marvel. Are you too young to remember Foom?
I might be a little too
It
young.
was the
which is
Marvel
shocking
fan
even
club.
to me.
It was called Foom.
Yeah.
You're an idiot, aren't you? You don't know Marvel. You're a
I see
wanker.
Foom like a weird
Well,
like
that's really
vape thing
rude.
or something now?
That's rude. Sorry, I'm British.
British.
He's an English sheepdog.
I heard somewhere about
He's
that.
actually English. He's not. I'm not British.
His
you
name's not
wanker.
Bernard, it's Bernard.
It's Bernard. Bernard.
Bernard.
You're lovely.
This is what happens when you drink too much, kids. Like a dog suddenly appears out of nowhere.
On your right hand too. That's funny because I paid for a cat. All right, we're gonna start the giveaway.
Oh, nice. Let's hope I finish this in time.
The dog. Everyone's asking what the dog drank. The dog drank out of the bowl, and it's filthy. So it's probably a little bit of everything.
Who wants a tipsily drawn, if that's a word, black cat?
Okay, what's an illustration? Here's a question. What's an illustration by another artist that you love so much, you have it in your house, you hung it on your wall, you bought it?
Okay, so recently I was eyeing this for like 2, maybe 3 years online.
An original piece of art.
It's not an original, but it's a screen print that was only made like 200 copies of.
Okay.
So there's an artist, if you've seen Sleeping Beauty, the movie Sleeping
Ivan
Beauty.
Durl?
Ivan Durl.
The background artist.
So Ivan Durl, he did all the backgrounds of Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty is the only movie where one artist with a couple of helpers did every background. Yeah, Bernard, have you heard of Ivan Durl?
Yeah, no, I've got a couple in my dog. I've got a couple in my dog house.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Show off.
Yeah. I like them. I don't pee on them.
Well, it took me a little
I've
while.
got some Leroy Neiman's I piss all over every day.
It took me a little while, so I bought recently. He after he did Sleeping Beauty, he stepped away from the Disney Studios,
right.
and he did
just prints, right?
prints
Yeah, art
of like
prints, yeah.
all around California, especially like the.
But in his style.
In his style, so it's in that sort of Sleeping Beauty style, but it's all. So when we moved to California, like about 6 years ago, I was like, I want to get some Ivan Durl California
Limited edition.
and it's hand signed. He's since passed away, but they're all hand signed. So I purchased not 1, not 2,
Wow.
but 3
Wow.
Ivan Durl screen prints, and
Wow.
I'm very proud of these prints. In fact, my youngest daughter, who doesn't often give me compliments, she goes, She just, when I put them up on the wall, she just sat there and stared at them for like 10 minutes, and she was like really taken with them. So high praise.
There's a Disney animator who's still alive, who's an amazing artist. He's one of the first African American animators at Disney. Floyd Norman.
Oh, Floyd, yeah, of course.
We've become friends with.
Oh, nice.
And he met Ivan Durl. Like, he was working with him.
He's a legend. Yeah, he was there like.
His name is spelled weird if you're trying to look him up. It's like Eyvind. It's Ivan Durl.
I think Google will correct them, but yes, I think it is an unusual spelling. I'm sure I would get that wrong if I did it now.
Someone says SDCC next week. We will not be. I will be at San Diego Comic-Con. Scott will not be at San Diego Comic-Con.
You know what, Kirk? I've been going to San Diego Comic-Con.
Right.
My first one was in 1993.
Oh, good Lord.
But I had but I skipped them on and off since then. But then since 2005, I've gone to every one since 2005.
You were a regular fixture. That's how I met you.
I was. And then like after last year, like it was the last day of Comic-Con, I mentioned to Tanya, I said like, oh my God, I think I just want to skip next year because I was so exhausted. It's not about the con. The con's almost like relaxing. It's the prep to the con. The prep is what kills
and packing up and then dealing with all
it's very stressful. It kind of kills your spring, kills your...
There you go. Steve Nara, thank you for spelling that.
It kills the first part of your summer. So I said, oh my gosh, I think I might just want to take next year off. And Tanya said, I'm going to hold you to that. And sure enough, she did.
So I want to let you guys know the giveaway info is in the chat.
Oh, nice.
Look in the chat.
You can get a wobbly
which is also the French spelling for cat. But it's pronounced Shah.
By the way,
the French don't like
sue me, guys. This is a little bit like this one, but I am a little tipsy. Have we mentioned this?
Wait, your
characters... By the way, I don't know what it is. I do tend to lean towards drawing as default from that one particular angle.
Right to left?
It's not. It's a default in my brain. I'm not sure what it is. When I'm having to run multiple apps in my head, this is the default. But I promise I can draw from the other way. This is just my I lean into this.
Yeah, I was wondering. I'm left-handed, so I usually draw them. I draw them right to left.
It is a little bit like that.
I draw them left to right.
Also, too, like you'll notice I'm not drawing directly straightforward because that's you get a thing with the eyes. You have to like double check, right, Bernard?
Well, yeah, you don't want to draw Bernard.
Bernard.
It's bloody Bernard. It's not that. I'm thinking. You don't have to stop. Oh, you're drawing, right? You're drawing. Yeah, Bernard. Yes. Whatever you said. Yes.
Ditto.
Someone noticed that we're getting rosier cheeks. Is Tanya enjoying all this? Is she enjoying adult beverages? She's not drinking, but she is laughing.
She's mocking us from afar.
She's laughing and she's throwing things at us.
Yes. But she refuses to come on camera.
They said, what Comic-Con will you be at next?
Well, how about you? Which one are you doing next?
They asked you first.
Okay, I am going to be, I am skipping San Diego, but I will be at New York Comic-Con for the first time in, I would say, several years. Certainly pre-pandemic. So I'll be back at New York Comic-Con. So that's for you
New York Comic-Con.
That's a little bit of a treat. So
if you live in New York, you're going to see him over there. You're not going to see him in San Diego, okay? So forget about it.
I'm drawing here.
He's drawing away. He's drawing like a black cat, but it's not actually a cat. It's like a chick.
Oh, don't get Bernard going again.
No, it's all right. No, it's all right. I've settled down now. I'm not so interested because it's not actually a cat. It's some sort of human female.
Oh, I'm trying not to be insulted by that. Oh,
that she's human?
My dog did that just the other night, actually. Tanya can attest.
Sorry, it's instinct. Also, your ear smells like cheese.
What?
Yeah, you should shower more.
How dare you, Bernard?
Tanya, get him to shower better.
Oh my gosh, this is so insulting.
So that's Black Cat, hey?
That's what I'm told. We'll see how it turns out.
There's nothing cat about her. She's got kind of cat eyes.
Does she even have that? I feel like I'm a little bit off my game.
What does she do? What does she know? I know Black Canary. Why are they all black?
She taunts Peter Parker and tries to get him to cheat on MJ.
But there's Black Canary and there's Black Cat.
There is a Black Canary, that's true.
Yeah. What's up with black?
I don't know.
Seems
It's got a catchy ring to it, I guess.
Yeah, it's true. It makes it sort of villainy.
Feels kind of like
somebody asked. It's not for you. It's for me, Bernard.
Okay.
Fuck someone asked, "What's your favorite villain to draw?"
Favorite villain? You know what? I just recently drew Dr. Doom, and Dr. Doom pushes those buttons in my younger years of like first learning about. There was this. One of the very first toys I ever had was this little light box, and it came with Marvel transparencies where you could. I've later since like went back and these shots were probably very Kirby
Right.
and Buscema kind of like inspired.
But generic.
Yeah,
kind of-
you would put it on this little light box. It was from the 70s, and you would light box like trace. And I had this device.
That's amazing.
And it had Dr. Octopus. In fact, I actually went on eBay and rebought this because I'm recently I'm
living your childhood. Yeah,
and
of
I'm
course.
also working on a Marvel book where I kind of tracing back my origins and kind
Nice.
of showing some stuff in a photo montage. And yeah, it was like so. But Doctor Doom was one of these very original characters. I harken back to my single-digit
Dr.
years.
Doom. I have 2 Sideshow Dr. Dooms because I
And
love
Doctor Doom too. Like
I'm
I'm crossing my fingers they don't blow it with this whatever they're gonna do with like Robert Downey.
Robert
Jr.
Downey, yeah.
I don't have high hopes. Listen, I'm a Marvel guy, but that makes me cringe a little bit. But Doctor Doom to me like Darth Vader is like the most iconic goddamn villain ever. And Doctor Doom,
He's up there.
there's a lot of. I think even George Lucas has admitted Doctor Doom was a big influence.
It's a metal face and cape.
Yeah, like look how much charisma
and for-
look how much charisma Darth Vader has, and you never remove the mask.
Right.
It's none of this stuff with
And
like the
for-
mask underneath the arm
For
and all that kind of
Zeta
stuff.
Deja Thoris was Princess Leia on Jedi. Yeah.
So it's like so to me, Doctor Doom. So I recently drew Doctor Doom. Anyways, that's a long-winded answer, but I recently drew Doctor Doom, and I
You
love
that.
drawing Doctor
Is there
Doom.
any villain or character in general that you hate drawing because there are a lot of busy work like Venom or something?
Well, I just drew. Yeah, Venom is.
I was
going
gonna say Venom's a lot.
I just drew Venom and Carnage, and
Oh,
both of
yeah.
which are a little bit.
All the
They're fun because you want to like flex and you
Yeah,
want to
all
kind of
the-
show
all
like
the
I can
politi-
draw a Carnage. God damn it! Like I don't just draw pretty girls, but on some level, I was like after I got done, I was like, I'm glad I don't have to draw Carnage again anytime soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I love me some Doctor Doom, and I would say Doctor Octopus. Those
I like Doc
I
Ock,
like
yeah.
characters that are like make a great silhouette.
Who did the original Doc Ock? Was it Kirby?
You're stumping me on this one.
Because I in my head he's kind of a Kirby guy with a big blocky
I'm still
nose.
thinking. Again, I'm still thinking Ramita Senior, but I might not. Might not be OG.
Did you ever read? So I was a big fan. So a little left turn here of Not Brand Eck. Was Marvel kind of doing? It was letting the Marvel artists do Mad Magazine versions of their.
Oh, what if? Was that what?
No, it was called
what
Not.
the?
It was called Not Brand Eck. ECCH.
Oh, I don't know this one.
Forbush Man was in it. It's before your time.
Oh, I am
Any
a
Not
youngster.
Brand Eck fans there? They released a soft cover of I think a collection of all of them. But it was like Mary Severin and John Romita and all the early guys doing Marvel comic parodies, and the writers writing them, making fun of like the Fantastic Four,
Oh, that's
Magneto,
funny.
and Silver Surfer.
And it wasn't Mad Magazine, huh?
No, it was actually
Wow.
Marvel, and I was a huge because I loved comedy and comics.
Because I remember like there was the Mad Magazine like
Forbush Man.
Super Duper Man or something like that. It was like I remember that.
yes,
was
well, Mad Magazine.
I think
did
that
it,
was. I
but
think that was like who did that one? That was
Steve Ditko. Okay, was Octopus.
but Super Duper Man. I think that was.
Yes, he did wear a pot on his head.
Oh gosh, why am I forgetting his name? The legendary artist did like. Oh gosh, he was an EC artist. I'm forgetting his name, but anyways,
Not Jack Davis.
Not Jack Davis.
Yes.
Who am I
think
thinking
have
of?
A guy.
Sadly, he ended his life in a sad way. But you know what I'm thinking of? Right?
Wait, not Harvey.
Chat. Who am I thinking of?
Yes, Mike.
I don't know.
God, I have a Bill.
doesn't
I have
matter.
a Bill.
It doesn't
I have
matter.
a Bill Stout collaboration with Harvey. God, he was a huge Marvel. Not Will Elder. Harvey. Not Wally Wood.
Wally Wood was who I was thinking
Oh,
about.
Wally
That's
Wood.
that's the one I was thinking of.
Thank you, Viper
chat.
Venom. Thank you, Viper Venom Comics. Wally Wood.
Yes, Wally Wood was. I think I feel
Harvey
like,
Kurtzman. Thank you.
Oh yes.
Oh, Wilder Mode. Yeah, Harvey Kurtzman. Great guys.
Don't
Optimus
get old,
Prime.
kids.
Don't get old.
You forget it, and
'Cause
don't drink. Don't
Harvey
drink. It
did.
makes you forget things.
This is a good chat. How many people are in the chat? Can you guys tell me how many people are watching
This
this?
could be a good answer or a bad ansser, Kirk. You don't know if you want.
There's 7 people in the chat, and they just keep saying,
7. Oh my God, you guys.
"Keep drawing! Stop! Shut up and draw,
Can I drink too?
please." They're like saying you're way behind on your drinking.
No, this is the
That's
third
right.
drawing.
You-
I said I'd do
you're
3
very
drawings.
slow. That's
where
true.
are we at with the time?
Oh, you've got. Oh wait, time disappeared. Where did it go?
Time does disappear.
Time. There we go. Oh, you've got 17 minutes.
17
Well,
minutes.
about
Okay.
50,
Hey,
about 12 minutes.
listen,
actually.
17's better than.
All right, I'm just gonna
12.
let him drive. Holly Warm.
Uh oh.
Just draw. Dum 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 dum.
Did I mention these are
dum.
sketches? Sketches are held to a different.
Yes, that's true.
different level.
Bernard's gonna go. I'm gonna go.
Bernard,
pee.
you're still here?
I'm gonna go lay down and scratch fleas. Love you, man. Hold on.
Oh, Bernard. Bernard, you're
It's all
gone too
right.
soon. We
It's-
barely
it's,
knew you.
It's completely platonic. It's all right. Love you. Bye.
That's what they all say.
15 minutes, yes, sir. Time is a human construct.
This is true. I've been watching more and more videos about black holes, Tangent and stuff.
Angie Force says, this stream can go on all night as long as the drinks hold out. Thank you, Angie Force. I agree with you.
I hold out.
Well, that's true.
The drinks are going to keep coming. I can guarantee you that.
Well, they're having fun. They're worried that Burner was getting a little too personal.
We're here to bring joy.
Yes, sorry, folks.
By the way,
the giveaway is only in America. I didn't make that rule, but there's actually a legal reason why we can't do that, or Sideshow can't do that outside of the continental U.S. or even the, I guess, U.S. Does that include Alaska and Puerto Rico?
This I don't know.
Yes, time is a fire in which we burn. Absolutely.
So one thing I will point out to you, Kirk, this is my little Easter egg of how I draw Black Cat.
How to draw Marvel.
I always do this little hair swoop.
Right.
This is my.
No matter what angle you're drawing it from, or you carry it.
At some point, I decided this was my little stamp on her. Right. Whether anybody catches it or not, to me, it's like, what's the point of becoming known for drawing something if you don't sort of put your little
Frazetta had big butts. Big chunky Italian butts.
Check that box. I couldn't take that one.
That's what I mean. You can't take that one. He's big chunky Italian butt. So you did a floopy hair.
I did a floopy hair. He might have went up to me on that one.
What are the fans more interested in, butts or hair?
I ran the bloopy butts thing set by Marvel. They weren't loving it.
Well, you did get a live. Should we not bring that up? Your Spider Girl drawing that got the Milo Manara thing, and then you got sucked into that whole thing about
did I
drawing?
Why drew Spider-Man in a similar pose?
Right.
They let that slide.
Yeah, that was fine. If it's a guy, it's okay. Well, it's a funny thing, the whole Me Too thing with comic art, which was interesting because Milo Manara. I mean,
he didn't help us. He didn't help. No. He didn't do us any favors.
Well, but I mean, that's why he's successful. He draws sexy women wearing almost nothing. I will say this
too. I feel like the pendulum swung back over, and I just did a series of covers for Rogue the Savage Land, which was which is my I often describe Rogue the Savage Land as like the slave Leia of Rogue.
She's wearing a thong,
X-Men.
basically.
Not a thong, but it's very revealing. She's scantily clad, and there was a time at Marvel you could not really revisit that version.
But I remember the pinup albums they would do. Remember back in the 90s?
They recently revisited those. They were the swimsuit issues. They recently brought those back.
And I was like, damn, comics are getting sexy.
So many fans in the Marvel industry are happy to see that era ushered back in. And I just drew a series of covers for Rogue the Savage Land. So bravo to Marvel. They've heard the fans' cries, and they're delivering.
I mean, look, I'm not saying anything nobody knows. That comic book fans, I would say, are probably, I'm being conservative here, 75 to 80% male. I think men like males. But
here's something
not that women don't like them, but
here's something I will say too. Like, there is a lot of love for the sexy Marvel heroines from the female cosplay community too.
The cosplay community, yes.
They do love.
But that's a small percentage of women.
Well, but I think that's a percentage that I think makes their noise or their voices heard.
Sure.
I think female. I mean, talking to Tanya, my wife, she loves seeing sexy depictions of women too. There's a line, of course. Like, it can get into trashy.
Right.
But I think in general, drawing the female character is aspirational or very sort of like.
Well, but the male characters have giant muscles and rippling abs. I mean, it's not like, only women are drawn sexy. The men are drawn like, I mean, I could never live up to that.
Right.
But nobody seems to. Men don't go like, that's not fair. I have a pot belly and I'm over 40, and
if you look at like Frank Frazetta drew very aspirational looking figures.
That's what comic books are.
And I think that's it. It's like, to me as an artist, like whether it's a Ghost Rider's motorcycle or a female or male character, I want to push the boundaries to the extreme because that's the dynamics that you want to bring to art. Nobody wants to push it just to two.
Family Guy does a really good job of showing. The giveaway is about to end, so if you are at all interested, look at the link in the chat. Put your name in.
I guess 2 hours gone by this fast. This is crazy.
I know. It's not the alcohol; it's the dog.
The dog.
The dog. You know what they say? A bit of a hair of the dog, and I think we got some dog hair in our drinks.
This is true. Full circle.
Giveaway's about to end.
Let's get some. I have no black on Black Cat. This is pathetic.
Turn up to 11 when it comes art. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the men are sexy, the women are sexy.
Well, that's just the meaning. When I walked into comic book shops when I was like first fascinated with this, I walked in And there was Frank Frazetta posters on the wall.
Yes.
There was like just like the most like insane over the top imagery. And to
Right.
me, that's what drew me into the field. And it's like we have enough regular stuff in regular life, whether you look at the Into the Spider-Verse and these kind of things, you want to see
Right.
everything, the colors, the anatomy, the backgrounds punched up to 11.
Right.
And why would I dial back this one area? It's like you want to see it all to the extreme, you know?
Okay, one last question from Henry, who always puts my
Last
name in
question,
caps,
so much-
which is why I notice it.
Henry.
So we do this again. Put my name in caps, and it catches my. Is there a book that that you have always wanted to do a run on?
I think it's still Spider-Man's probably still in there. I think honestly, the two that always I come back to are Spider-Man and Batman.
Spider-Man.
Both
and Batman.
because-
really
and I-
Batman. I don't think of you as I never link you with.
You know
Batman.
what it is? It's the villains.
Oh,
The
well,
villains,
true.
both of them have a neck and neck contest with who has the best rogues gallery of
Oh.
villains.
I think Batman. You're right. I never because I'm a Marvel fan, but
Right.
Batman villains are so goofy,
They're so over the top.
but they're over the top.
and
yeah.
so are Spider-Man. Spider-Man,
Yeah, Spider-Mans, but they're somewhat-
they're all animal themed, and
Yeah.
they've all got like crazy
But
silhouettes.
I mean, the Goblin, yes. Mysterio, kind of. But I mean, the Penguin and
Yeah.
the Joker and the Riddler, they're so bald-faced, goofy.
Oh, but you've got Poison Ivy. You've
Yeah,
got
but that's
like
what I mean. But just
Mr. Freeze. Come on,
That's
dude.
what I mean. But they're goofy.
Yeah,
But-
so are Spider-Mans. They're
But
goofy.
they're not. Electro,
Spider-Mans
not so
aren't
much.
goofy?
Mysterio, not compared to Batman.
But that's the great because Batman's
Like, I
so
was-
Batman's so again.
Well, he's grounded.
But yeah, but that's just it. That's the great. The contrast creates focus.
That's- I absolutely- no, I agree.
The Batman being so stoic and like his villains being so
completely
goofy.
nuts.
That's what's great about it.
That is, I agree with you.
And
Like,
also too, Batman's Batmobile. Like, who doesn't want to design their own Batmobile? It's
true. And every director who's done it has.
Yes, and put that stamp on it. You're right. I literally the only thing I collect. Like I have a row in front of my television of all the Batmobiles because I just love collecting the Batmobiles.
what do you think of the later ones where they're actually kind of grittier and more real as opposed to?
I love just seeing the
Every
thread.
version,
I love
yeah.
seeing the thread through all of them. I buy them all. Like I even have like the one from like the the cartoon series.
Right.
Like, I just love seeing like all the different interpretations.
I
because
mean,
it's like,
because of my age, the original, just with the big, how over the top it was, still is my
yeah,
favorite.
totally. So to me, it's like that. Those are the two. And again, I give credit to the villains because the villains are what kind of give it. It's like, and also too, both of them have their share of like sexy female
Right.
aspects. Like
Sure.
you've got Catwoman,
Well,
you got
Catwoman
Black
is-
Cat, you got Poison Ivy,
Right.
you've got like MJ. Like both of them, they kind of tug.
I
They
think
keep that
the
bar.
Batman, I mean, Catwoman and is sexy as hell. I
Yeah.
mean, and was designed that
Who's
way.
laughing back there?
Some broad. Some broad.
That sounds like a Canadian laugh. I was like,
That was a ha ha eh. Oh, I'm laughing at you
all right,
about.
guys. Here's your slightly tipsy.
So you got a red riding
I got
hood,
I got
a black cat, and a Petey Peaky.
I thought I had a Peter Parker.
Parker
Did I lose track of
did
him?
you flip
Where
it
the hell-
over?
What
Did
the
you flip it
hell?
over?
Oh, he's over here. He's hiding.
There you go. So those are what we're giving away.
So you have a lot of like the right side of faces of multiple characters here.
All right, these are the winners in no particular order. Alice Cecilia K. Teo.
Oh,
I hope I pronounced
Alice.
that right. Peyton Yip
Peyton, awesome,
and George Nieves.
awesome guys.
Again, the winners in no particular order. Alice Cecilia K. Teo. I don't know if that's your uncle. Teo. Peyton Yip and George Nieves. Those are the winners of the 3 drawings.
Yeah.
Oh, so we get to pick who wins what. I'm going to let you do that.
Oh, I'm picking. What am I doing?
Oh, you're picking
Okay,
that
so-
name with that drawing. So.
Okay, who's the first name?
The first name is Alice.
Alice. I'm going to give you Peter Parker. I hope you
Alice
like-
gets Peter Parker. Well, there you go.
Yay.
The girl gets the guy, and then the 2 guys will get the girl.
I kind of thought that. I mean, I don't know.
makes sense.
What do you
That
think?
seems
that's
fair.
Do you think that's a good way to go?
I think that's fair. And then we have Peyton Yip.
Peyton Yip. How about a Black Cat?
Ooh, Peyton gets the black cat.
Well, she's not quite as rendered as this, but it is Black Cat.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Oh, hold
black
on. I
cat.
got to finish her
She
ear.
is litter box
We were
trained,
talking
by the
about
way.
ears. I got to finish the ear. This
Yeah.
is terrible.
And that leaves George
I know.
with.
I think we killed the suspense with that last one.
Yeah, that leaves George with. Wah, wah. No.
Hey, how dare you? That is not a womp womp. I protest.
With Hood riding
Oh, hold
red.
on. I need to also sign this one.
Oh, yeah, you need to
It
sign them.
Doesn't count if you don't sign it.
No. Oh, he's signing it, you guys. So now now you can sell it on eBay. Dear eBay subscriber.
Yay!
Yay! Great things above and beyond.
Yes.
Congratulations. What about the stick person?
And who?
Wait, what
does anybody want the?
I'm sure somebody will want your warm up.
Oh wait, say, where's that? Where did that go?
Well,
actually?
the one I think it's on your to the right.
Oh, who wants? We'll be right back. Does anybody want
After
that?
these messages,
Yes,
we'll be right back.
I
No, there,
remember
your
that.
stick one right there.
Yes, there's a stick.
Sign that.
Well, there's hidden.
Oh, there you go.
That was
his warm
That was an
up.
abandoned Tinkerbell just to make sure the camera worked.
Everyone wants it. Me stick figure. I'll take it. Oh my gosh, you guys. We're gonna have a wrestling match online.
Why did I spread it too? That's ridiculous. This is what happens when you don't drink, kids.
Don't drink and draw.
2025.
So here they are. I'm gonna lick all of them to make sure.
I didn't even finish my
taste
drink.
good.
Can I keep drinking when this broadcast ends?
I think you can. It ends in 5 minutes.
5 minutes? I thought we were like a minute out. What do we do for
no,
5
I think
minutes?
they're gonna.
Kirk?
Aren't you guys gonna do some 5-minute thing of like talking about our?
Any last minute questions?
Finish your stick figure. Here,
Finish my stick figure?
Finish Black Cat since you said she
All
wasn't.
right. Well, she's more.
If she's not, yeah.
I'll spruce her up. How about that?
I look very different on. Yes, Henry, I look different on Star Trek. That was like 40 years ago. I bet you look different than your baby picture, Henry.
Now, Kirk, what did you do on Star Trek? What did you do on Star Trek 4?
I was I was the punk on the bus, which was everyone knows me. It was also
That was you?
yes, and I was also associate producer, and I wrote a bunch of dialogue, and I played the voice of the computer. This is a
I don't
deep
think I
cut.
knew this actually.
Who said logic is a matter of civilization? Which thing came? I wrote all those questions.
So
and
when Scotty goes computer, like that was.
No.
Oh, okay.
I did all the, when Spock is standing there and all the questions are being like, T. Plana Hoth, matron of Vulcan. I wrote those questions, and then I'm the voice of, who said, I'm the computer voice, correct.
Yes.
How do you feel? That's me.
Oh, funny.
And then
That's
I
a
played
great
the
one.
punk, and then I wrote and sang the song that the punk is listening to called I Hate You.
Oh my God! You went into a studio and actually recorded.
I recorded it with the sound guys.
This is great.
Favorite Muppet movie? Muppet Treasure Island, the one I wrote. And then Muppet Haunted Mansion, the one I wrote and directed.
Now, what was Leonard Nimoy like?
Leonard was amazing. He had a very deep voice. And he was very warm and fuzzy, which is funny because you don't think of that of Spock.
Yeah.
But like he called me Kirko and I called him Chief. It was like, Kirko. He had this big, deep basso.
Which is funny. I only
voice.
now realize Kirk and
Kirko, I
Kirk.
know. I know.
That's interesting. That's funny.
Yes, method acting. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. It was great. Thank you all for watching. This has been really
I
fun.
hope you had a good time.
Next time we'll do it for 4 hours.
Wow! Holy
And
moly!
Scott will draw an entire comic book
Oh my lord!
and drink a fifth of whiskey.
I can barely finish these ones.
I know, you lightweight.
These are awesome.
You're not
Great
doing
things.
your heritage proud.
How dare you? I'm almost done with this.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We went through it. This went so fast.
It did actually.
And it wasn't just the heroin.
They told us 2 hours, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
know, what are we
But
gonna
now
do?
I feel like we
we
blinked. and it's over.
brought the puppet thinking like we're gonna have to make it.
We need to kill time with this
Yeah,
puppet.
we'll kill time with the puppet. Well, thank you guys. Thank you all, Burgermeister.
I hope you had a good time. If you
Yeah.
enjoyed yourselves, let Sideshow know. And Sideshow Con
And
continues
send us
all
all
week.
money. Just send us money.
Yes, let them know that you enjoyed Kirk Thatcher and J. Scott Campbell's drink.
Well,
and draw.
J. Scott Campbell and Kirk Thatcher getting mildly tipsy on.
Yes. Maybe
Next time I'm going to draw.
Maybe we'll get the Bartender Strikes Back if you like this.
Next time he's going to draw me while I drink.
Wow.
We got 2 minutes left.
2 minutes. Suddenly time slowed down.
All right, any last questions? Any last questions? Go
get 'em
ahead.
in, under the wire.
Where do we send the money to? You guys are very sweet. That was amazing. Thank you. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
It's weird,
Whoever
Stephen
stuck through
Cohen.
the whole 2 hours. Or came in at the end.
we do this anyway. We sit around and
Yes.
drink and talk
Yes,
nonsense.
you just happen to have a camera on it.
And I ask him about art, and he asked me about puppets, and we talk about his wife mainly, who giggles. That was great. Do you have any books coming out, Scott?
I have a series of Marvel covers coming out in August. Like probably too many. Some people have complained there's too many covers coming out. It's a whole series, Kirk. They're gonna
A whole series of covers.
It's a whole series of covers.
And so, there's 3 people keep asking about your freaking watch. What is up with your watch? It's a
Oh
Spider-Man.
yeah. This is a Fossil watch. I did a promo with a paid promo, but it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man's actually on this watch. I don't know
Have
if
you guys
can
heard
see
of
that.
Spider-Man?
It's probably hard to zoom in,
He's
but
a
it's
very
like
popular Marvel character.
go on my Instagram. You'll see all about this Spider-Man watch. But it's
you
yeah.
go.
Can we see it here? Look at that. How cool is that? In fact, I actually think that is a Romita Senior Spider-Man. If I am correct. And there's webs in the.
What's next for J. Scott Campbell Con?
Well, if I said that, I'd be giving away. But but pay attention tomorrow, kids, because J. Scott Campbell Con will have a nice little drop.
Chuck can't wait for our swimsuit. Wait, we're not. Oh, your swimsuit rogue.
Your
swimsuit
yes,
rogue.
those will be shipping soon. I've got to fly out and sign the ones that are signed, actually. So.
Will your set be a collection piece like Rough Stuff?
I've had a Rough Stuff sketchbook planned and in the works for years. So at this point, I probably have like 4 volumes worth of Rough Stuff. So they'll hit the market at some point. I've just got to take the time to focus on making those. But
Anthony M says, "Girls and Monsters." I don't even know what that means.
Okay, that's a little old. I don't know about Girls and Monsters. They might have had their day, and that might have come.
Sounds like my birthday party.
Yes.
All right. Oh, that's it.
That's it. Hey, well, tune in for Sideshow Con the whole week, guys. This is just a small portion of it. So
more Sideshow Con with people getting art and arting and drawing and drinking. I'm assuming.
I don't know about the drinking.
Sculpting, maybe.
Oh.
But here they are. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.